All right, everybody, we're going to go around and check out the various exhibitors. You know, let's see who we've got standing by over here. We'll just briefly touch base with the Retro Rewind table. They're off doing lunch, probably. How you doing, L. Curtis Boyle?
Getting stuff,
Oh, there you go. What are you up to today, L. Curtis?
I'm fixing up your SD card to bring it in.
Oh, good. Work for me. Outstanding. Now, I'm going to go around and have people introduce themselves and tell you what they brought. So let's start right over here. Hello, my good man. Introduce yourself to the people and tell them what you brought.
I'm Scott Parklow, Retro Dreamstate.
Where are you at? Where are you from?
I'm from Knoxville, Tennessee.
Knoxville, Tennessee. Beautiful, man.
I brought a Coleco Atom.
Yeah.
So that's the Coleco computer that is both a computer and a ColecoVision in one. And it's got an internal FujiNet card, which is kind of what I'm looking at now. I'm actually online looking to download a game. And then I've also got the Ultimate pack for the Coleco, and so you can play any of the ColecoVision games on that.
Beautiful. Is that your TI beside you there, or did someone else bring that over here?
That's mine as well.
I didn't even see that.
Yeah, so yeah, I've got.
That's a beauty too, isn't it?
I love this. I love the finish on this.
Yeah, it's so nice.
It's got the Atari adapter, so you can just use a regular Atari joystick. The speed synthesizer,
which is great.
Which is really great.
Really good.
And it's got a RAM expansion because there's a couple of 32K games that you can play on it. But really, the showcase here is the final ROM. So it's pretty much the easy way. You push a button and you can. When you boot it up,
oh my God, that's awesome!
Pick whatever game you want, and it does a great job of being able to kind of go through and let you play whatever you want.
Does this, you know, when I do this on the Mister, there's certain ROMs I have trouble playing. Does this play everything?
Yeah.
Oh, that's so good.
Yeah.
Was that thing pricey, the SD solution?
It's a little hard to find. It's not nearly as expensive as some of like the ColecoVision ones and so forth. But yes, it is definitely. It usually costs more than the system, as always, so.
Look at that, SD solution for the TI.
I got one of those.
You do? I've got to get me one now.
Yeah. The final GROM 99.
Yes.
Yep. Yes. It's about $130 now, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so. So. And again, it's one of those that disappears for a while, and then they can pick them up again and so forth. But yeah, if you're going to get one, the 32K expansion is a great way to go, because then you got a whole list of games that you can play on that as well, and there's some pretty nice games on there. So.
Very good. That's awesome, dude. Thanks for bringing that out from Knoxville. That's awesome. You gonna be my helper? Come on, you help me. Thanks, man.
Thank you.
Let's say hi to our good buddy. What's going on, dude? It's John Marshall. What are you bringing tonight? The Mister?
Yeah, with the MT325 and demo it.
Oh yes.
And then just a point ops build I just got finished with.
Oh, nice. And tell them where are you coming out of, John?
Charleston, West Virginia.
Charleston, West Virginia, local boy. Local boy done good. Thanks, John. I'll be coming back over to check that out later. See what. Oh, here we go, right here. Oh, look. Look at that. Isn't that nice? Boat, introduce everybody there.
So this is my mom. And Aaron is streaming everything live. So you can see yourself up there on the screen.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah.
You're all over the place.
That's enough for me.
Okay.
Hey, Aaron.
Okay.
How are you?
Brought cupcakes from Little Bit of Heaven.
Oh, nice. What a deal, eh? Boat, what do you think so far?
Boatfest is going great.
Yeah.
It's going great, Are you going to go?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I'll see you later.
Bye-bye. Isn't that sweet?
This is so far has surpassed my wildest expectations.
Yeah.
In terms of the amount of people here, the amount of smiles, everybody's having a good time.
Yeah, it is.
Machines.
Yeah.
It's just really, really going well. So thank you all for watching. We hope you've enjoyed what you've seen so far, and we've got even more stuff coming up the rest of the day.
Beautiful. We're seeing all the machines here, Boat. So if you want to pass that mic along, and we'll move along here.
Right,
Thank you, Boat. Boat, the namesake. Uh-oh, put that on, my friend.
Yes, sir.
Now, we've moved down.
You're filming us, we're filming you.
Look at this. Talk about an all-star team right here. Look at that. So tell us your name and where you're from. I know your name.
I'm Chris Petzel from Randolph County, Indiana.
Petzel on the Discord.
Outside of Indianapolis.
And look at this piece of work right here. What's your name? Where are you from? It's the Flackster. So, Petzel, tell us what you got going here. This has been quite a treat here.
Yeah, this is the Amiga 2000 with the video toaster.
Yeah.
2000, the original video toaster. And so the video toaster was a live production switcher slash character generator slash 3D animator slash paint program all in one. And so, yeah, so
All I know how to do is make the girl come up.
Yeah.
that's what everyone likes to do, and it's the first thing you want to do with the video toaster. It's the first thing I did when I got it running. So
Now you've got it set up here where you not only can you process the video and add a bunch of fades and transitions, but you're actually recording to DVDs.
I added kind of a later model DVD recorder. I could have used a VHS VCR or maybe an SVHS VCR, but I didn't have any tapes.
I understand.
So I'm recording on DVDs, and everybody who sits down, we go through this, they get to take home a souvenir DVD in their session.
That's outstanding. Souvenir. So you're getting one made right now, like I'm ruining it.
We're 9 minutes and 15 seconds into
I'm gonna have the longest toaster video for everybody.
Last night, a guy who used the toaster 20 years ago was showing me how to do things, and he had almost an hour long.
Really?
Yeah. So we went through a lot of.
I bet I know who that was too. Was that a gentleman from Tennessee, perchance?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, he's the Amiga master. I've been told.
End of the table there.
Very good. This is great stuff, Pets. Thanks for bringing this out. And that's a great treat. Everybody's really enjoyed it, man. Thank you very much. Say goodbye, Flack.
Adios. See you guys.
There you go.
Enjoy the show.
I'm gonna hose up Mr. Cola's game, everybody. Don't blink, Mr. Cola, but I'm coming up behind you. Thank you. I want you to talk about, while you're here, you should just put that on.
I will.
Look at this. What do you have to say about this game, Mr. Cola?
So this is Astro Blaster
Yeah.
on the BBC Master. Very fun little kind of Space Invader-y type game.
Yeah.
Definitely some different enemy patterns going on, and a mechanic that's similar to bullet time, where everything slows down.
Yeah, I love that aspect. Mr. Corey, I want to catch you over at your table when you get done now.
Yeah, absolutely.
Very good.
I'll be over there in just a couple of minutes.
All right, we've got the one and only here. Josh, tell us where your full name is, your board name, and where you're from, for the record.
Well, my full name's Josh Malone.
Yeah,
See, right there.
look at that.
I go by 48K RAM in honor
That's
of my,
right.
in honor of my Atari 400. It was my first computer. I still have it.
Beautiful.
But yeah, this is my exhibit table here, and I'm sorry everything's in.
What happened to your Nabu monitor?
So the Nabu monitor went over there on the ZX Next
Oh, yes.
because it handles 50 hertz.
Oh, wow. That's handy, isn't it?
And I didn't bring the other one back here, but this is my Nabu PC.
And we played this last night. It was really fun. I was really
Yeah,
impressed.
Fun games on it. The interesting thing about this, if you look around back here, this is the thing I've been working with Petzel to help with me, is that it's got an internal Raspberry Pi.
Oh.
And that's running the Internet Adapter software.
I see.
And it's plugged directly into the serial UART with a board that I had a bunch made up of. And so Petzel's taken some back to Indianapolis.
Yeah.
I've sold a few here. But it keeps you from having to use the RS-422 kit.
I see.
So that's how that works. And
This is
sorry
quite
I can't show it off right
a real unique machine, though, isn't it?
now. Yeah, so I 3D printed a bracket. I've got one of the prototypes in here. It, well, this spin is a mess. I'm not going to dig into it. And then I've got the ST here.
Yes, we
which is-
played with
which
this
is
last night as
currently
well.
Topless computer action here.
Oh, man.
And because I was having some RAM issues.
You getting too hot, you think, or something? It's been on a lot.
I think it's just vibration from the trip over.
Oh, yeah.
So I
That
cleaned-
happened to a lot of people, eh?
Clean the contacts. Oh yeah. Cola's Turbo Duo.
Yeah.
This machine, but it's running good now. So I've just got the Synergy Mega Demo running on it. We were playing some games earlier. But I've got the Ultra Satan here. I've got the internal GoTech, and it's got 4 megs. It's a 4 meg STE, so it can run all the demos. You know I love the demos.
Yes, sir. I think that's one of the best things about the ST, frankly, is the demo scene.
Better than the game.
Hey, we had a good time playing we played Top Banana. It was a joy to play it on another machine, I will say that. And I'm happy to see an ST live. Now,
Frickin' banana.
we got to talk about this bad boy. Look at this. This right here, if you watch the stream, They put a lot of work into this bad boy. Talk about this one, Josh.
All right, so the BBC Master 128, sent to me by Gedgehead. It's 128K version of the BBC Master, 2 megahertz 6502, all the same expansion capability of the Model B, but it adds this cartridge port. And let me turn the machine off here briefly so I can pull the cartridge. This thing here called the Master SD. If anyone has one of those turbo SPI things that you put a card in on the bottom of, like Boat's new Model B that he just got, this is the same thing but in a cartridge port. So you pop that into the cartridge slot, and then you can boot the machine and boot into the infamous beam.mmb menu.
Beautiful.
Right off the cartridge, and so you have your SD card right there.
You can't beat that, dude.
Well, it also has an internal GoTech.
I saw that, yeah.
And so this is what I use to run SSD disk images for demos and stuff like that, because there is some compatibility issues with the MMC solutions, but the GoTech, and this is what Gedgehead told me to do, and he printed up this adapter for me real nice.
It looks tremendous. And really, if you're going to get one of these, I mean, these are really sort of a great solution if you want to do a lot of different stuff, right? Gaming and demos and whatever. I mean, have you been happy with it overall?
I really have. There is some minor compatibility issues with the Model B versus the Master.
Yeah.
So if you just want to play like all of the classic games, the Model B is great. That's all you need. You know me, I love demos, I love the demo scene, and so that's why I really wanted the Master, and Gedgehead absolutely pulled an amazing trick out of his sleeve and got me this Master. It did need some work. You saw the streams.
Yes, excellent work. I was worried for a couple times. I was like, man, I know it's tough to really pick apart these strange systems, you know. You did great. I mean, I think this is a top shelf machine. It just has a look that I love. It's a beauty. It's a gorgeous machine. I think you did a great job on that one. Now, you know, before we move on, we're going to talk about this thing. So you've been pulling up stuff I've never seen before on one of these Tandies. I mean, some real cutting-edge gaming, if you can believe it.
I couldn't believe it. So
me either.
L. Curtis Boyle, all hail.
Yeah.
Pointed me at this site where these guys have a game engine and they ported it to like a godzillion machines.
Right.
And one of the ones that they added recently was the Model 100. And so they were all cassette files. I spent the weekend porting them to disk files. So they're running off of my portable disk drive image, TPDD. And it's Bosconian.
Yes.
It's freaking Bosconian.
Yeah, and we played this earlier. It's very impressive. We also played a really nice Asteroids game on here as well. There's the Lord just rolled in with his family.
I can't play with him, but yeah, so it's pretty amazing. These.
Yeah, it is. I've been very impressed with this thing.
Thank you for the ride yesterday.
Oh, no problem, dude. I'm glad you made it, man.
Oh, yeah.
That was the Lord and his family just came in. This thing, was one of the more impressive things I've seen here. I mean, it just blows my mind that you could do something like that on these machines. It's quite remarkable.
Mine too.
Yeah, it's really impressive. Why don't we roll over here? Let me see who's that. Mr. Cola's around. Let's go check him out. Look at him. He's waiting for us. Cola, for the record, what's your name? Tell everybody where you're from.
So my name is Mr. Cola. I'm from Michigan, middle of nowhere, Michigan.
Hey, wait a minute. Let me get the mic on you here.
I dropped it.
Is it okay?
The mic. I did the mic drop unintentionally.
No. Okay, Mr. Cola, try it again. Give us your full biography.
Sure. So yeah, is that good sound, hopefully?
I think we're good.
Okay.
Thank you, Josh.
My name's Mr. Cola. I'm from Michigan. Made the trip down to Boatfest, brought some hardware with me.
What do we got here, Cola?
Here we got the Sinclair ZX Spectrum.
Beautiful.
48K machine with a Div MMC Future.
Yeah, you got to have that.
I'm using a Sega Genesis controller, but adapted so that it's safe.
Yeah, because without that, you can pop these things, can't you?
I'm not sure if it's this machine that's sensitive to that, but I know it adds extra voltage, so I'm just
take a chance, right?
Erring on the side of
Yeah.
But yeah, we're running a Jetpack high score competition.
Oh, I gotta get on that. Then fail.
Yeah. We also have the PC Engine Duo.
Yes.
Which is basically a Japanese TurboGrafx 16 with the CD attachment built in. The game you're seeing right now is Lords of Thunder. It's the CD game. It's pretty fun shmup.
Yeah.
But we're also testing out something courtesy of 48K.
I guess we can at least sort of show these. I don't think we get too much trouble.
They're on Twitter now.
Oh, okay, good.
So, Retro Frog and 48K have been working on this NES to PC engine adapter, so we've been testing those out.
How have you found those so far, Kola?
Very good.
Really? You're pleased with them?
Yeah, it's been working really, really well.
Very good.
And we have a multi-tap, so we've been doing a little bit of multiplayer stuff using those extra controllers and kind of putting them through the paces. But yeah, this thing also has a turbo EverDrive, so it can be pretty much any of the U-Card games.
And God bless those things. I mean, I love them.
Oh yeah.
You know, hey, the PC engine is great. Great machine, gamer's machine, yeah.
And if you love shmups, you'll absolutely adore them.
There's a lot of good stuff on there. What do you got here?
So finally, last but not least, is an Amiga CD32, but kind of a weird CD32.
Oh yes, I remember you talking about this a while back.
Yeah.
This is a really strange one, isn't it?
So this is technically an NTSC CD32. It was sold by a company in the United States that sold to dental offices.
Yeah.
At least this particular machine was.
Yeah.
It came with a CD that, these kiosks kind of sat in the office, and while you're waiting for your procedure, you could learn about what was going to happen to you, or what various teeth components are, solve the boredom problem while you're sitting in the waiting room.
Right.
But yeah, I think they're just basically reusing the hardware because Commodore wasn't selling it. And otherwise, it's just a CD32 on the inside. It's NTSC first, so it likes to boot into NTSC modes, but you can force PAL and all that.
Sure. What kind of? This is a homebrew game you got on here. What do you got here?
So this is DJ Hoffman's new game.
Oh, he's always good too.
Yeah, he's got some really good stuff. And this is Seekanoid. He was nice enough. I'm helping him test a little bit, so he said that I could show it off.
Fire it up a little bit there, Cole. Let's have a look at it.
Yeah, so Seekanoid is kind of a little bit more of an adventure exploration side of the game, but it controls twin stick. So you've got your D-pad for movement, and then you've got your stick, your 4 face buttons to kind of be firing. And it definitely has like a different sort of aesthetic. I believe this was an indie game on PC originally.
It looks specky-like in a way.
It does have kind of that sort of feel. But yeah, this is a little bit more of an exploration side of the game. And then there's a separate side called Yugatron, which is basically Robotron, using a lot of the same graphics. But all of it has music by Hoffman, really good tunes.
I like the look of it. Like I said, it's for the CD32. This is a real unique looking title.
Yeah, and so this isn't also. It's not exclusive to the CD32.
Oh, I see.
I believe any OCS Amiga, if I recall.
Oh, great.
But yeah, it's going to be coming out soon. I don't have any dates or anything to share. Not that I don't know anything, but
I know how you feel.
But yeah, at least through my testing, I've really enjoyed it, and people seem to be enjoying it here today. And yeah, this machine also has a Terrible Fire 330 expansion in the back. So
always reliable.
Not quite your standard CD32.
I got to get me one of those.
Hard disk loading in an 030.
Oh wow.
So yeah, 50 megahertz.
That's nice.
Which is pretty fast. It can run Doom pretty slowly, but.
And those things are pretty reasonably priced, aren't they? As I recall, I remember looking at the prices. It wasn't that bad.
It was a couple. I think I paid like close to $180 from some guy off eBay.
Yeah.
But yeah, depending on what processor you want, I know there's some lower end options and some higher end options.
Yeah.
So like anything else, you can go as crazy as you want. You can spend tons and tons of money.
Yeah, you can go crazy. That's for sure.
But yeah, that's what I've brought here. Hey, what's up?
Say hi.
Hey, thank you, Kola, for bringing all this stuff, man. It's awesome. I'll be back to play more of everything, my friend.
For sure.
Let me D-mic you there. I'm going to go see our good buddy Moebius over here.
Sounds good.
Thank you, Kola.
Yep, no problem.
I'm going to walk across the hall, everybody. All right, Moebius, I'm coming for you, my friend. This is our free stuff. Hey, no machine should have to suffer top banana. All right, now I've been waiting to show this one off. Here you go. Put that in your pocket and put that on your lapel, my friend. Now, thank you, Josh. So what we've got here is something I think it's probably the only one of its kind on the earth. Thank you very much. So, Moebius, tell everybody your name and where you're from.
My name's Matthew Moebius. I live in Missouri, from Alabama originally.
Yeah. Now, what kind of insane stuff did you bring to show off this week?
I brought a Checkmate case, which has an Amiga 500 motherboard in it.
Which is, yeah.
And an A570 CD-ROM that would normally go into the side of a 500. And it was already in pieces from the former owner's project. And I mounted it in here.
I gotta get in good and tight here. Look at the workmanship there. It's so solid. Now tell the people, how did this thing get built? What all did you do to this thing? I mean, obviously the Checkmate case, you stuck a 500 board in, but there was a lot more to it than just that.
Well, the hardest part was getting it to fit in there, in the mount, and the old CD tray.
Hold on a second, I'm gonna reconnect here. I don't want to lose this because this is important. There it goes, okay, go ahead.
The hardest part was the mount for the tray, the CD-ROM
Right.
to fit on. The tray that came with the case was made for newer ones, and I basically had to cut it in half and make my own map with, or mount with CAD software and then a 3D printer, and had to do it 3 or 4 times because every time I put it in there it wouldn't look right, or I finally got it in there and then it wouldn't eject the CD-ROM or something like that. So probably 40 or 50 hours just getting that mount to work.
I'm gonna get in here real good now.
And then it's also got a GoTech.
So this thing will fully run all the CDTV library, plus a bunch of other stuff.
Or just CDs.
I love the workmanship there in the front of that thing. When I walked here for the first time, I told you, I was like, I know that was no easy feat to put that together. I love the interface for CDTV stuff. Now, is this the computer you would say you use the most, or is this sort of your showpiece?
It's taken up all of my time, and I haven't had time to work on any others.
Right.
And I've played with it more here than I've gotten a chance. I just recently finished it, so.
It's quite a beauty. You ever think about painting that thing black?
Might even be able to find them. Yeah, that'd look better. Or just even just the edge black.
Yeah. Now this thing's got all modern ports in the back, I believe you mentioned.
Yeah, it's got a USB keyboard.
I'm going to spin around in the back here. Get some of this in.
USB mouse. High to HDMI.
Look at that. Very nice.
Except for those cables fished in.
Hey, look,
Get fixed.
the funny thing is, if you don't mention it, I wouldn't even notice it. Of course, I'm a little nuts. So,
the best CDTV game ever.
Yeah.
Made.
This thing has been echoing through the halls of Boatfest for the last couple days. Yes, sir. Give it a little bit of a play there, Moebius, so people can hear what it sounds like.
About to drown everybody else out.
Now, is there anything you haven't done to this, aside from rewrite those wires? Is there anything you haven't done that is something you're thinking about doing, or are you happy with what you got?
I put in an accelerator, like a Terrible Fire.
Right.
But because it's a Rev 5 motherboard, it's got issues with the A570.
Those things can be a little tricky.
But I mean, it's good enough as it is. I could add more memory.
Right. I love this guy.
Like in the A570 board, you can add memory to it.
Right.
And a SCSI module, but those are not cheap.
And that monitor is just a you say it's just a straight up
VGA
just a VGA. Here we go. Xenon 2 lumber is into play, but here we go. Listen to these explosions, they're quite good. If you haven't played the CDTV version of Xenon 2, it's the top shelf version. That's nice.
That the sounds are coming from Kola, but the music is actually coming straight from the CD.
You can tell. Boy, it sounds so good. It sounds so good. So you spent a zillion hours on this thing. Right beside this, I'm going to pan over here. You've got your, I don't know, I was going to say your crown jewel, but now I don't know which jewel. You have to tell me. What's the scoop on this? This is a Amiga 4000 060 here.
Yeah,
it's a beautiful, clean unit.
It's got a CyberStorm Power PC.
Yeah.
And the Power PC chip's been upgraded to over 400 megahertz with original hardware.
Yeah.
But I haven't had time to do anything else with it. But a mediator's going to go into it. A graphics card, and even try and get Amiga OS 4.1 on it.
Oh, okay. Woo, okay, nice. We'll look back here just to check it out. It's very clean. Have you had this? Where did you pick this one up, Moebius?
Train shop in my hometown.
Oh, yes. I remember that story from last night.
He took the Varda out back in the 90s.
Yeah.
The board is pristine. No damage.
It is a beauty. I mean, it's...
Spent a lot of time on that custom GoTech.
Yeah, let's get in there. You know, a lot of people aren't real keen on the 4 the way it looks, but I mean, I like it. I like it just fine. Look at that. That's nice work. Look at the around the knob there. How many tries did that thing take?
Only like 2.
Yeah. And the mouse here, what's this? Is this just
the knob here is recessed. It took a while to get the right amount.
Is this just a laser mouse?
This is just an Amiga kit laser mouse.
Okay, yeah.
They work great.
That's good stuff. That's good stuff, Moebius, man. Hey, thanks for bringing this stuff out, my friend.
No problem.
Say hi to everybody in the internet land.
Hey, internet land.
If you ever wonder what Moebius is like, there he is. There's been a lot of speculation. Thanks a lot, man. I'm just gonna go around and talk to everybody. Say hi, ticket ladies. Introduce yourselves. You gotta say hi. People are gonna wonder who you are.
They know who I am.
That's Brent's wife Terri, and that's Boat's wife. They're manning the ticket station. Good job. Oh, don't go down that road here. Oh, thank you, man. Listen, hey, I've got you 2 calves right here. Here, put that for a second. Let's get you in. Yeah, good to get you in here, man. I'm going to talk to everybody. So tell everybody your name and where you're from, man.
I'm Joseph H. from, well, they call me JoeSkeeRock.
Yes, we know Joeski.
Yeah, from Delaware. So, how's everybody doing out there?
So let me ask you, Joe. You've been here for a couple of days. What do you think of the goings on here? Are you having a decent time?
I've seen some systems I've never seen before.
Yeah.
It's just amazing some of these things are able to do today with all the new technology.
Yeah, I agree.
You know, it's incredible. I mean, yeah, it's never been heard. Sort of stuff never been heard of when we were back.
Yeah.
We never heard of it. Because of the retro community and because people are, you know, open sourcing and working on stuff, they're able to put stuff out that we never thought mattered.
Yeah. It's quite remarkable. And I never cease to be amazed at what comes out. People are, I mean, it's passionate on borderline nut job city on that. They're crazy. Now let me ask you. I'm going to pan over here to the auction stuff. What do you think about? You going to take any of this auction items home with you tonight?
I'm basically trying to get that 2000 keyboard. My Amiga 2000 keyboard broke some years ago.
Oh yeah, not easy to replace.
Actually, one of my children were young. They dropped it, and the whole thing cracked, and keys went everywhere. And I was upset, and I just threw it away.
Oh no!
I realized I got to put it again and fix it, but I was mad. And so,
well, and plus years ago, you don't know.
Yeah, I was like, oh, never mind, we're going to need it again. And now trying to actually retro guys are
Retro Rewind.ca and Frank.
Trying to work on my stuff now.
Now, what did you bring in to get worked on over there?
500 and a 2000.
Yeah.
They both have the bar still in them, which is bad.
Well, I mean, what are you going to do? You know.
Bad, right? And so the one board he took out and it was damaged, and he said that he's going to fix it. He's going to take it back with him, and they're going to ship it to me.
Yeah.
And he's going to open the 2000 soon, hopefully, and see how bad. He said usually 2000s are pretty. Where the battery's okay, it's usually not a problem. Even if it corrodes a little bit, it won't eat anything. You know, traces are good. So we'll see what happens.
Very good. I think if you took it to the right guy, Frank's the master.
Great guy.
Yeah, he's a good guy. Jason's a great guy. Oh yeah.
You know, he's a nice guy, and I'm happy. So.
What do you think about? You probably getting some names, some faces behind the names from the Discord and from
I'm terrible with names. Like
I am too. Don't feel. What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do?
It is what it is, but But no, I've really myself at the time, and everybody's friendly here. Everybody's willing to talk about the guy.
Oh, yeah.
And give you details. Give you the details.
Yeah.
We're all detail people.
You got that right. You got that right.
That's what we'd like to do. So.
Well, we're glad you came out, Joe. I appreciate it, man. I was happy to meet you in person.
Yeah, you too, man.
I'm going to roll down the line here. I'm going to watch you and see if you get your keyboard at that thing.
Yeah.
Hey, wait a minute. Where are you going? No. You come back over here. No, you're fine. Sit down right here. It's interview time. Don't try to. You tried to walk away. Here, put that on. Come get on. No, he looks great. He's fine.
Bad news, man.
Now listen, we're doing the routine here. You got to tell everybody your name and your Discord name and where you're from if you're on Discord, and where you're from. So give us the scoop with the bar in mouth. Look at L. Curtis Boyle. He's breaking into the cupcakes.
Yeah. There's a lot of business going on behind me here now.
A lot of people don't know this, but they don't have cupcakes up in Canada. That's a foreign food to them.
It's a delicacy in Canada. That's because I made them all.
Oh my God. So give us the scoop, my friend. Tell everybody your name and where you're from.
Hey, I'm Bill Bright. I'm from Frankfort, Kentucky.
Yes, I couldn't believe it.
Yeah, it was cool. Just find out you're working for the Kentucky State Police there.
Yeah, I know. It's crazy. So what brings you down here, Bill, to come down to this wacky thing?
Well, I just started kind of on the show circuit with a couple of shows, and you guys were in my neighborhood, 2.5 hour drive.
Yeah.
Thought come over and see what's going on.
And we don't get a lot of retro computer action in these parts, do we? I mean, there's not much going on.
No, I feel kind of like I'm on an island out
Yeah.
because there's just not, there's not that community.
Yeah.
So you're stuck with the Discord and stuff and things like that, which is good, but kind of impersonal. It's great when you come out here and see people's faces, and everybody's just generally friendly and welcoming, and just a ton of information. Not to mention, that's a crazy table over there.
Yes, sir.
Auction stuff. I mean,
there's a lot of people interested in some of that. So do you eyeball anything that you might want to take home with you tonight?
Oh, yeah.
Because you've got a nice collection already, but
there's some sweet stuff over there. I don't know if I'll manage to get any of it, but
you're in it with a chance, right?
I'm up to put the hand up a couple of times, see if I can get something.
I think it's dandy that you're here from Frankfort. Like I said, for people that don't know, I worked out in that direction. I had no idea. So, hey, we can start the Kentucky connection right now.
There you go. Well, you're going to have to come by and visit.
Hey, no problem.
I'll walk you through the collection.
Twist my arm, brother. Twist my arm. Well, good luck in the auction tonight, and I'm so glad you came down, man.
No worries.
And I think you're going to do okay any way it goes. That's what I think. You know what I like to do is to sneak up on a sucker that's not looking. He's playing with his phone, like some sort of bum, and I like to put him in the spotlight. And here we are now.
Okay.
Here's your microphone, my friend. Now, here's the way we're doing this. Tell everybody your name and maybe your online name and where you're from.
Jeff Martin.
Yeah.
Steelrat.
Steelrat. Very.
666.
We see him often in the chats. And where are you coming out of?
Oklahoma City.
Oklahoma City. Long drive. And
About 14 hours.
Tell everybody how you got here.
Flack, Rob Ohara, called me up and said, I'm going to rent an RV and drive to West Virginia.
Yeah.
Said, that is the dumbest idea I've ever heard of. What time do we leave?
Yeah. Ironically, he's probably saying that to himself right now.
I believe he is.
As I saw him drag himself out of that RV this morning, he looked like 20 miles of rough road when I saw him. So now, you have what I would, and you can stop me here, but you have sort of a casual interest in this sort of thing.
Absolutely, yeah.
But what have you thought so far? I mean, it's a nutty bunch. Probably a lot of people you recognize from the chats and stuff. Have you been able to put some faces to the names while you've been here?
Really nice for this trip to be able to put the faces to the names.
Yeah.
That's been great.
Have you seen anything that you found interesting so far?
A lot of systems that I've never seen in person before.
Yeah, and you're a high-level tech guy, so you've seen. I'm just saying you are, right?
Yeah,
I'm putting you over, man. Yeah.
I dabble.
And so, did you see one system that really blew your mind? And why was it mine?
Not one system. They're all interesting in different ways for their own reasons.
Yeah.
It's amazing what they did with so little ability on some of these machines.
That's true. That's absolutely true. Now, you've had several meals here in the home state, West Virginia. I don't know where you've got to eat Have you got to go to Biscuit World yet? And you went to, we had whiskey taco last night. We had Fat Patty said pizza. Well, have you, anything here struck out, or have they all been duds? What do you think so far with the mealage here?
Have not had a bad meal the whole time.
Really? And tonight's meal is probably going to be the best one, I'd wager.
Looking forward to that.
So you can't beat that. Now, one last question here. The RV experience. Now, you've got, how many hours do you have before you're heading back to the house? How many hours back?
About 14.
About 14 hours. And what's your levels of excitement versus fear or dread of those 14 hours? Are you gonna have, it should be fun, or you're not looking forward to it? What do you think?
Looking forward to it. I mean, it's always an adventure on the road, and that's part of the reason for making the trip.
Now, you and Flack are like literally lifelong friends. What's it like to be walled up with Flack for a 14-hour trip? Is he on the whole time, or does he sit there quietly? Which I don't think that's the answer.
No, I mean, you hear stories. Lots and lots of stories. Sometimes ones you've heard before, but you just nod your head and go with it.
That's right. That's the problem with doing podcasts and stuff. You've used all your material and everyone knows it. So now you're just like, well, you just got to make crap up. That's the way I like to do it.
Well, and when you're in a lot of the stories, it doesn't help.
You're in many of them. And that's funny because this is the first time we've met face to face. But I felt like I knew you pretty good from the hundreds of stories I've heard over the years.
Well, based upon the stories, would you say they've been pretty accurate?
Yeah.
Was that what you were expecting?
Well, yeah. You were, how can I put this? You were more civilized than I would have anticipated from the stories. Because in Flack's version, it's just it's a madman, right? Of course, a lot of them took place when you were younger. So I'm guessing that version of you was much crazier.
Alcohol may have been involved. So I still enjoy it. But
that's the tagline of this entire fest. Alcohol may have been involved in the entire thing. Well, listen, thank you for coming out, my friend. It was great to meet you, down here. And I'm looking forward to hearing you in more stories. There'll be several shows where the stories based on this event right here, and I think that'll be fun. Thanks for indulging me. All right, we're moving along here. You know, I'd be remiss if I didn't talk to this man again. It's our good buddy L. Curtis Boyle, who was over at the other table here. Put this on, L. Curtis. And look, there's your buddy Ken over there too.
Yeah, come join. It's Ken.
He's playing. We'll get to him. He gets his own. I've got some questions for Ken there. So, what do you think here so far, Curtis? Are you having a good time?
Yes, I am.
Look at that.
Yeah, it's a little demo I did for Frank.
Oh, that's nice. That looks really good.
You've got some sounds you coming up.
Oh yeah, very good. So, you guys, is it coming out of there now? Oh, I hear it now. That's great. You did that, eh? That's nice. I bet Frank loved that. Oh yeah, that's great. So it's funny because CoCo Fest was about a month and a half ago, give or take, and we were both at that. And of course, it was about 8 or 9 hour drive for me. For you, that was a marathon of death.
Yes.
Now, you guys drove down through the snow.
Rain, shut down highways.
And the fact that you guys had the temerity to continue driving down to Tennessee or whatever that's madness. And so I was surprised. I figured you'd be back, but I was real surprised that Ken came back because he has even farther to go through even worse conditions for the CoCo Fest. So it's very trooper-like of you guys to make the trip down. What have you been working on? I mean, aside from that, how's everything going with Nitro's 9 and all that stuff? You need any new developments in the CoCo front that you're involved in?
Nitro's is kind of taking a bit of a pause. We're doing a 1.01 bug fix update.
Yeah.
So there's a few people involved with different parts of it. But lately I've been working with the podcast Chronologically Gaming, which is going through the history of all video games, all handheld games, home consoles.
I heard about that. That's crazy. My God, what an undertaking.
Yeah, in chronological order. So I've been helping on the CoCo side of things and sending him like scans,
yeah,
and, notes and stuff like that, and kind of doing a little bit of work for him because he's got so much to take on that project.
Oh yeah, I can imagine.
It also forced me on my games webpage because I have a timeline section where I was going to do the same thing on the CoCo side of things, and I've just been sloughing it off for years.
Yeah.
So this is kind of giving me a kick in the ass, and I'm actually doing it now. So.
Is any of this going to filter down to the L. Curtis Boyle Games section of the webpage? Yeah. Beautiful. Any chance there's going to be a massive graphical update to that page in the near future? I know there's not because you liked it because you can access it with the CoCo, right? That's the whole point.
Yeah, I mean, my games page, I've been doing updates more often lately than I have in years, but it's like a couple of games a week or every 2 weeks.
Maybe. Yeah. That's anytime I look up stuff for research, your site inevitably comes up.
Yeah,
in fact,
I'm only half done. There's
I know.
hundreds and hundreds of games I haven't got to yet.
You must get I mean, I don't know the numbers you get, but I mean, since you're the sort of the ipso facto site, you must get a lot of action on that. I mean, because it always comes up in Google searches. You know, every time I look
I
at.
imagine I do, but the web counter thing that I installed in like 1999 broke for a while. And
GeoCities went down, and then you ran out of your counter.
yeah, so I mean, I'm probably over 250,000 views really, but I think it's 190,000.
More currently, are you having a good time so far at Boatfest?
Yeah,
Have you all enjoyed it?
I actually got to play Donkey Kong and a few things up in the
Oh yes, in fact I think that's Graham over there playing right now. Boat's actually auctioning that off today, so that'll
fit in my carry-on luggage.
Yeah, I kind of figured the Canadian contingent was out of whack on that.
Ken might be able to do it. I mean, he brought a truck, so.
Come over here, Ken. I want to get you in here. Pull that chair up. You know, because you guys are like peanut butter and jelly sometimes. Now, incredibly insane treks to CoCo Fest and into here. Now, just for you, you know, that's no good.
I like to think of it as somebody's looking out for me because these things happen and I don't know. So.
They're looking out for you, but they're bored. That's how I look at it. Now, how long of a drive? You drove the whole way, right? From all the way from where to here?
Well, originally I had driven home from here to North, and I was there for a few days, and then I drove.
So for you, that's just a walk out to the store.
Yeah.
And plus,
when I grew up in Saskatchewan, 26 hours is like going to your neighbor.
I figured the whole thing that happened was they thought, well, there's no blizzard out here. We got to put something out there to make it interesting for you, and then you've got a story. Now, let's talk about your web series. You know, I've watched your show I think I've seen most episodes of it. You've fixed a machine sort of like that one over there, as I recall, bar top and stuff. What's the most gratifying thing you've had on there that you enjoyed the most? It may be even fixing or whatever.
Probably my favorite thing so far is when I finally got a ColecoVision that I've had for about 5 years that hasn't been working. Finally got that working.
Yeah, ColecoVision's awesome. Now, am I insane? But you do have a non-functional MSX back in the pad, right?
Yes.
Now, is that thing on the docket?
I started working on it, and I am having a lot of trouble figuring out what's wrong with that thing. So I've tried a few things, nothing's stuck yet, but I haven't tried enough things for another video on it yet.
I've never opened mine, so I don't know what it looks like in there. But I'm assuming it's pretty. It was yours. What do you think's wrong? Bad chip, bad RAMs?
My best guess right now, because I've tried a bunch of other stuff, is that there's the video chip may have gone bad, which is the holy grail of trying to up chips on that thing. It's impossible to get. So.
Yeah, oh man. Well, there you go.
There is one person in the world that's making a replacement little board for it, but I don't think he makes them very often. So.
And that's the way that stuff always goes. You know, it's tough to get, it's expensive, and the guy makes one or two a year. So I understand it. Now, this is your first trip down to Boatfest here. What do you thought so far? Are you having a good time?
Oh, I'm having a blast.
Have you seen anything that you found particularly interesting?
Kind of just everything. Playing all these games I love playing games. So
yeah, there's a lot of fun stuff out here, and there's a lot of stuff I hadn't seen before. I think some of the most impressive things I've seen though was on that little TRS-80, the little handheld number, the 102. Yeah, 102. What a neat thing. Did you try that out yet with the asteroids and all that jive? That's quite amazing on such a small screen they can pull that off. Well, I'll let you guys get back to it. I guess I'll move down the line. Thanks for talking to us, and make sure you check out, plug your YouTube channel, man.
Okay, well, it's Canadian Retro Things, all one word. That's what I am on YouTube.
And you want to give a plug to the nation, Curtis, while you're here?
Watch us on the CoCo Demo.
Interesting guests or anything on the nation?
We have several other interviews coming up, which I can't remember off the top of my head. Most of the two we've got in August. We're trying to get some other ones, so keep some in July as well.
Games.
Very good, of course. Thanks, guys. Thanks, fellas. All right, we're going to walk over here because I saw the Lord walk in. Hey, Lord. We're gonna, I like sneaking in. Here we go. Watch out, man. I'm sneaking in. Hey, look, it's TSI Matt. Here, put this microphone on for a second, Matt.
Oh, great.
Yeah, come get on TV. I'm going to get you next, pal.
Oh,
So listen, TSI Matt, I noticed that it's about, what, about 1 o'clock?
Yeah.
Now, you coming in a little late today to the old Boatfest. Why is that, Matt?
Well, turns out that weird Serbian booze does not bode well for a night.
Those Serbians make some hardcore liqueurs and whatnot.
Yeah, it was
now,
good, but
you were loopy. You were loopier than anything last night when I took you home, but you were happy.
Yeah.
He giggled a lot, Lord. I'll tell you that. So, how have you enjoyed your time here at Boatfest so far? I mean, sometimes we're better than others, obviously.
Yeah.
What have you seen here that you found fascinating?
all of it, really.
Really, it's a bunch of crazy stuff you've never seen in a million years. You know?
There's some things here that I've heard you all talk about but never seen in person.
Yeah, it's crazy. Now you're one of the lone TSI representatives. Let's give a shout out to the people that couldn't make it here because there were a few.
Absolutely.
Our good buddy Spartan, Pat, and then, of course his sons, and then of course our good buddy Paco Atake, and then we've also got Oram. Things happen, you know, where you just can't make it. And then Edvin, of course, would always wanted to come down. And there's a bunch of other guys that are on there that we always have a great time hanging out with them and stuff.
Foosballer.
Tex, with Dave Z. You know, we'd love to have those guys come down. Yeah, we'll get them in here sooner than later, you know. But good, you're repping TSI quite well. For someone who only has a passing interest in the retro scene, you've been up and at them, and also provided us an emergency table when the time was right. We appreciate that, TSI Matt. Hey, would you like to plug the TSI Matt? What do they call it? The old your web page. You know the one. You know where it's got lots of sexy antics on there.
What, my OnlyFans?
That's right, yeah. The OnlyFans, Lord. You don't have one, do you? That's good for the nation. Thank you, Matt. Thank you, Matt. Look what's going on here. I saved you near the end. I want to get you in at the end.
The second day unpacking.
No. Sit right there for a second, Lord. I want to talk to you. Here, plug this microphone. Put that on your shirt. You got your daughter here too.
Yep.
Let me get positioned here. So happy to have Levellord. Now, just for everybody at home, tell everybody your name, where you're from, and your board name there.
All right, so originally I'm from Serbia.
Yeah.
And I moved to States.
Yeah.
Quite some time ago, and I live now in Indiana. And my name, Levellord or Mike.
Yes.
Yeah.
Or the Lord for short, as we like to call him. You having a good time this time around
Awesome
to Boatfest? You having
awesome
fun?
Time. Thank you so much for that.
We took the Levellord home last night, and it's got a great house out in the woods.
Yep.
Nice porch. I saw you getting out there and lighting you one up there. And
like behind that porch, like behind the house.
Yeah.
There's like huge lawn.
Yeah.
Surrounded by trees. Deer feeder. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Have you guys seen any wild animals out there?
Did you see anything? Nothing yet.
Oh, that's probably a cardinal. That's our state bird, by the way, if you're wondering. Now, it's a big transition to go from the peace and quiet of nature to the Boatfest room here.
Oh, yeah.
Have you seen anything in here that was interesting to you so far, Lord?
Oh, pretty much everything.
Yeah, there's a lot of wacky.
You know what? All these retro systems, some of them I've never seen them.
Yeah.
I mean, I've seen them on paper.
Yeah.
Spectrum.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
You need to sit down and just check out that machine.
Oh, it's a beauty.
Didn't have a chance to do that yet. It's been so busy.
Yeah.
I mean, yesterday I got here like at the opening, and all of a sudden I was on my way back home.
Yeah.
I was like, where'd the time go?
It's like a blur, isn't it? Yeah, I agree with you, man. Now, you didn't come empty-handed, aside from bringing the family, the wife,
right.
and the can. Look at that. Levellord always brings some. You want to talk about your lovely? What do we got on the table today, Lord?
This is called Smoky.
Yeah.
It's like a peanutty. It's like a peanut. I don't even know how to explain it. It's very good though.
Give me one of those, Matt. Hand me one over here, Lord. There you go. Thank you. I'll try one. I'll hear on the thing here.
Right. And these are like some traditional Serbian
Now
cookies.
those are good. Yeah.
And also this is like something called halva bar. And I love those. So
I'll be getting one of those
this
too,
actually
Lord.
reminds me of my childhood. When we were kids, we were eating a lot of these.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And this stuff's all from the native land, is it? Very good.
Yeah.
Very good. Now, aside from delicious treats,
Yes.
you've brought another delicious treat here.
Absolutely.
Which is now tell us about. This is probably the big dog. It's one of the big dogs of the whole show here. What do we got here, Lord?
All right. So what we got here is this is.
Look how beautiful.
This is Amiga X5000. Let me just pull up some. Yeah, here we go. Okay, ignore the crash.
All right, no.
Ignore. Yeah, it happens. But okay, so. And of course, my system froze. How embarrassing, man!
It's a feature.
Listen, it is a feature.
I want to get the actual system here because look at that. Look at the beautiful trim. By the way, I haven't got to play Voxelberg yet. I'm coming over and doing all my tournament stuff while you guys are doing the auction. That's my cunning plan. I got access to everything.
No.
So I'm going to be looking at everything. Look at. I like the stick here. I remember this is from the same one you had last year.
Yes.
Very good.
Same stick. So yeah, okay. X5000. 16 megs of RAM, 2 gigahertz dual core processor. Well, it only works on one because it's still not enabled in the system. People are working on that.
So they think they're going to be able to activate that second core at some point?
At some point, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Hey,
that's hard to, it's been like talking about that forever. So.
Small community too. There's not a ton of people working on these.
Yes.
I love the boot up the boot up screen is real nice, and here we go. And I can't tell you, folks at home, if you see one of these things live, they're just a gorgeous machine. I'm going to get a shot of the internals here while this thing's booting and letting people see what it looks like. It's quite lovely. It's if you ever wonder what a modern Amiga would be like, let me get my hand out of the way. That'd probably help. Look at that, everybody. Very nice, very beautiful. And here we are back at the desktop. Oh, look at that.
So,
definitely a man who's used the machine a few times. You're flipping through menus like a maniac.
I was just changing the pointers.
Yeah.
To mine. These pointers I also made for this system. I made like 68K pointers for Amiga OS 3.2.
Oh, nice.
Because I was very unhappy with the default like Potus Collide.
Sure.
I'm getting old, can't see where the pointer is, and I'm running like a large resolution. High-res resolution on my 68K.
What resolution are you at here, Lord?
Here is 100. It's 1080p.
Uh-huh.
So yeah, when I finished that one, I was like, you know what? Let me make another pointer set for this system. So that's what I did. Anyway, what I want to show you, what I tried to show you is just like some really.
You can take this with you.
I don't know why it's doing that.
I will say this, Lord. Everywhere I've gone today, I think the travel does not bode well for a lot of these machines. There have been a lot of people that had stuff shake free, and so I'm not terribly surprised because I know this thing's been up and running for pretty much the whole show without any problem. It happens.
This machine is powered every day. I don't have many.
You don't normally travel hundreds of miles with it there, right?
That's
while this is coming up, let me ask you a couple questions here. For starters, what do you got there in your hand? Look at that. That's really unusual. I remember this before. That's an unusual bit of kit right there.
It's a vertical mouse.
Yeah.
I'm using the vertical mouse because I have wrist issues.
Oh yeah. Is it like what is that called? Carpal tunnel. Yeah. I don't know how I don't got that.
When I'm using the just the standard mouse.
Yeah.
It just started hurting me real bad.
That's a real. I've never even heard of these until I saw the one when you brought it last year. I was like, man, that's real unusual. And you see the buttons right there.
Right.
How do you feel like you've got pretty good control with that thing?
Yeah, I mean, it's not for gaming.
Yeah.
You don't want to play like first-person shooters on it.
Well, yeah, I can understand.
I mean, you can play like strategy games.
Yeah.
But it's really good for like whatever work. You know.
Now this computer will be. It's okay with like you've got USB PS2 stuff on here, right?
Okay, I'm not doing this anymore, but yeah.
That's okay. Listen.
I don't know what the heck is happening. I'll have to investigate and find out.
We'll come back after you've got everything checked out. It's no big deal. It's a beautiful machine, and of course I've played on it last year. I'm going to play on it this year. Right. I'm going to come here and play. In the years since we talked about it, have there been any interesting developments in the X5000 scene? Anything interesting?
Well, there are a lot of like independent developers.
Yeah.
They're just part of the community. They're doing all the hard and heavy work.
Yeah.
While the company supporting, nothing.
Yeah.
Zero knowledge. Anyway, all these people are doing all kind of ports.
Yeah.
Developing all kind of interesting applications. You have Trevor. I mean, who's Trevor Dickinson, who's pushing Amiga One.
Yeah. Trevor's he's the guy holding the banner.
But he's just one man. I mean, what he can do, you know?
Yeah. So have you heard anything there about making? They're gonna. Are we gonna see more of these produced?
Well, listen. So I don't know about. I'm not going to say anything about Tabor. Who knows? But, you can always get like a SAM board from AQ. Yeah. SAM boards are still being made. I don't know if this is going to be a last batch or not. Yeah. Because of the PowerPC processor, it's really hard to find. So I don't know. We'll probably have to look. But they just released like a bunch of boards. Yeah. And they're all sold out. Yeah. So, I mean, there is obviously like
very good
market for it, but yeah, I don't know.
Very good, Lord. Well, I'll be coming back over here to get me some voxel bird.
Yes.
Lord, I haven't got to try that yet, so I'm looking forward to it. And I'm sure whatever's going on, you gonna do it again? Try it again. No, come on, do it again. See what happens.
Listen, I'm just going to run Ranger and I'll system specs. So I don't know. This one was working yesterday just fine. The system monitor.
This happens on my actual PC all the time, so I'm not surprised. These things when you put any PC in a car and you run it for a long time, the vibrations. I mean, that's not a myth. I've seen it. I mean, we had Terrible Fire have that problem and RAM problems. It's happened all over the place at the show, and people have sat and fooled with them. And so, what can you do?
Listen. An Amiga One notorious for trip issues. Like I heard so many bad stories. People will bring their machines and they will not work. They would have to reseed the card's memory and whatnot in order to work. Yeah, you're right. But this thing was just working yesterday, just fine. Believe me. Anyway,
I believe you.
Amiga One X5000 020 with 200, 2 gigahertz processor. I'm running a Radeon HD graphics card on it.
Could you switch graphics cards if you want, or is that the standard one that's supported?
Well, you just can run only Radeon cards, but you can run RX cards.
There's some pretty powerful Radeon cards, though. Yeah,
they're pretty good. They're pretty good.
And these are PCI Express slot cards. Yeah. And
I can do whatever I want on this machine. I can play music, watch videos, listen to internet radio. For my productivity, I'm using Ignition. It's pretty decent.
Now you use this. Yeah, you use this for most of your daily driver, right?
Really can't use for serious browsing.
Right.
Like secure stuff on the internet. That's why I use my Linux machine.
Yeah.
But for anything like that I enjoy doing, what I'm using this machine for I will run sketch block. I have my drawing board. I would draw on this machine, listening to the music and stuff like that. But mostly this machine drawing, you know.
Yeah.
Can't draw with this mouse though.
That's when you go back, or you go up to the wrist paint mouse.
Right. But yeah.
That's a real nice looking package there.
And this is a native Amiga PowerPC software.
Yeah.
Built for Amiga ones, and excellent piece.
It's such a beautiful, beautiful, you know, by the way, beautiful trophy you got there. Now I got to take that to the house.
This one.
I'm going to come back and win that thing.
This is a voxel bird trophy for first place.
Beautiful.
I ordered it. So yeah, whoever won, will take that home.
I'm going to win it, and I know I can beat Mr. Cola's score. He's no good. Hey, listen, thank you so much for talking to me. By the way, I want to say hi to your daughter. Hey there. Say hi to everybody. What a cutie. I hope you're having fun at the house down there. Very good, very good. Well, thank you, Lord. We're here. So, as we're doing, everyone, tell everybody your name and where you're from.
My name is Rodney Carter, and I'm from Dandridge, Tennessee.
Dandridge, Tennessee. Now, how did you find out about Boatfest? Because when you came in, I was like, man, this is great, and what a nice guy with a great collection. But how did you get turned on to this whole thing?
Well, actually, several years ago when I started listening to the Retro Hour with Dan and Robbie, I heard about you guys. They were talking about you guys, and I said, I started tuning in on you. And you guys had this banter between you and Bo, and all this, just the shenanigans that you guys would do. And I just thought, this is really cool. I mean, I'm not a big game person, but I listen, not only to hear what you have to say about the games, but your friendship that you guys have.
Oh,
I just think
that's awesome, really man. Cool, Dan and Ravi started Retro right about the same time we did. It was maybe right after, I'm pretty sure, maybe right before. But they've always been super nice to us. We've had Ravi on the show a few times, and Dan was on one of the Amiga-thons. I love the Retro Hour, and they've done a great job of capturing a lot of interviews that probably you wouldn't have gotten if they hadn't jumped in. I don't know how they get them. They just talked to the guy that did Montezuma's Revenge on the Atari. It was really interesting. And so they're great guys. And so thanks to them for putting us over, I guess, to get you over here. Now, I want to talk about, as an Amiga collector, we talked a little about this yesterday. How did you get into the Amiga scene for the people at home? And what are your, because you've got a pretty epic collection, can you kind of summarize what you've got going on over there in Tennessee? How'd you go down this road, and what do you got going on now?
Well, originally, I was kind of a graduate student, working with a professor, doing some weather research, in the summertime. Got a whole bunch of money for my traveling, because I was putting gas in my car and going to several states. And at the end of the summer, I had about $1,500. I was able to buy my first Amiga 1000, and it had been out for maybe a year. And I'd heard about this computer, and a friend of mine, his father, who was an engineer, had one. He had Fortran and had some other programs that he was doing. He was a NASA engineer, and he was, they all programmed in Fortran. So I was like, I want to get this computer. It's neat. It's a creative machine. There wasn't anything like it. Most of the computers at that time were green screen with a blinking cursor, and everything you did was DOS. There was no mouse, there was no graphical interface, nothing like that. So I took this money, went to a local computer store that they had down in Madison, Alabama, which was right next door to Huntsville.
Yeah.
And bought this computer, had enough with the monitor as well. And I started my odyssey with that. And for many years, when I was in my late teens, 20s, we would meet, our big user group would meet there at US Robotics in Research Park in Huntsville. And there was at least 500 people there, and people who were writing programs, who were demoing games, productivity software, and all this stuff. So I was kind of a part of that for a while, and then things changed a little bit. Things started hitting bad times. I had graduated up to 2000. I bought a video toaster. Was doing some video toaster stuff, doing little weddings and playing around with video.
Yeah.
And just rocking that. I love that.
And it was so unique, wasn't it? I mean, no one was doing that. That was like something from space, like aliens dropped it on the land, you know.
It was like, I would do something and show that to my friends or at that time I was a resident, a medical student and a resident, and they were like, how did you do this? Do you have a production studio at home, or do you work in a television studio?
Yeah.
I'm like, no, it's on my computer. And there was some things I've done for presentations using my video toaster and doing, putting, captions. Not really, presentation software with video, that Microsoft had later on.
Right.
So I did that with the video toaster, and I really enjoy that. This machine has a soul to it.
Yes, exactly.
It is very much alive and still is alive. Things got worse, by the end of 98, 99, somewhere around 2000, I just kind of gave up. I had a 4000 in a tower system. I had a video toaster 4000 with a flyer system and all the hard drives that go with it. Played with video, was now, in my practice, and at that point, the community just is going to pieces.
Yeah.
With the Commodore, debacle and SCOM, then, all the promises that had, then, them going under, Gateway taking over. It's like a curse.
Yeah.
Go under, and then Amiga Corp or whatever it was. I finally just dropped away, and I was away for probably about 2015, 16.
Yeah.
And started getting back in, and I was like, I'm going to start collecting for this thing. I still have my 4000, I still had it running. I got it back out, dusted it off, and then started looking at what was out there and the web. I found you guys, the retro hour and stuff, and it's still kind of, I'm in a desert area. There's not a lot of people that know. In fact, I only know of one other person that in that area around Knoxville who even has an Amiga to this day. And I wanted to come here and kind of connect up with some of the folks that are still carrying the torch for this machine. All these years.
Yeah.
Aaron, what is this now, about 40-something or 38, 40 years of the Amiga?
Yes. It's almost 40 years, 38 years, I believe, 1985. It's amazing, really. And it's great, we're talking about being an oasis. Here we are in West Virginia, right? It's not what I would call the tech capital of the world, right? But there are a few people, right? And we're here. I met a fellow over here, he's from Frankfort, Kentucky, right? He said the same thing, I'm out here, there's no one around. But he's there, he's holding the torch. And we can make a line, man, that goes from New York to California. The people that live in the middle part of the country, we're still doing our part to get something done. That's sort of what we're doing here, and it's, I was talking to him, it's like there's not a lot of cool things to do in terms of tech shows, like old retro computer shows in this area. And so when Bo just said, we should do one here, I was like, yeah, what the heck? Because, there's got to be somebody in Kentucky and Tennessee and Virginia that want to pop by, And it gives you sort of a charge to meet people, sort of like yourself, who just they're out there. You didn't know about them, and they're passionate about the Amiga. They've got a collection. They're active. They're getting into it. It's fun. And I feel more like an Amiga citizen than I ever did in the 90s. Because it was so depressing, everything was going south. I feel much more enthusiastic about the future, about the stuff. Plus, no matter what happens, we've always got what's already out there, and what's out there is outstanding. Now, and some of us have more outstandingness than others, right? Now, you have amassed a pretty sizable collection out there, haven't you?
I've got several. Actually, Frank worked on some of my. When I started back collecting, I get, you know, something on eBay that said, oh, this 2000 runs and a couple $100.
Right. Back when you could do that, right? Yeah.
And so I wound up collecting. Of course, I get this machine and it's not working. You know, and I'm fiddling around trying to do the limited things that I know how to do.
Right.
And I'm able to.
Come on over.
I would say out of 6 or 7, I got one of them working for a short time, and then it just stopped working. So I'm not sure what was wrong with it, but I decided I would send it off to Retro Rewind, and they got it all fixed, right? You know, worked on it.
Yeah.
So I'm rebuilding, putting those things back together. You know, getting. I've got some 4000s right now that he's worked on. I had a CDTV that I looked up on, had never come across one, and had a sweet deal on one.
And those don't come along easy in this country, no.
They don't. So I got a hold of that. The one thing with it is it had a screen that wouldn't work.
Yeah. You mean the LEDs?
The LEDs?
Yeah.
He's got it fixed for me.
Frank is a legend for a reason. Yeah, he's awful good.
He's the man.
We're putting you over, Frank.
He is the man.
Frank is fine. We'll talk later.
Running around with this as a cape.
What a crazy guy.
I just, you know, I've got that. I've been active on Amibase.
Yes,
and
absolutely.
I know Hess.
Yeah.
He's just a really down-to-earth guy.
Those guys are so great over there because they also will keep you from getting screwed. They actually sort of get on each other for being mean. I love that. You know, I've bought stuff there too. It's sort of like the EAB. It's, you know, they're the good guys out there. You know, but you could lose a lot of money if you tinker around there too long. You know. Do you have? Do you think is there something in your collection that's your favorite?
The AA 3000 plus.
Yes, I thought you might say that.
I got it in the 3000 case. I had a case. Well, I wound up buying a case.
Yeah.
And it is my pride.
That's beautiful, man.
Pride and joy.
Do you have any social media or web page or anything? Do you have any other stuff like displayed anywhere?
No, I don't. But that is something I think what I'm going to do is correct. That was something Frank said. I don't see you on any, you know, Facebook. You know, my wife has a Facebook. You know, Linda.
Yeah.
You know, but you know, I don't, and because of my profession, you know, for the most part, for many years, I've not been in the media stuff.
Yeah.
To do any of that kind of stuff. But I think what I'm going to do is to set up a page or something, you know, with, you know, it's not good to be alone. You know, it's not good to be connected up with, you know, our people.
That's right.
You guys are my people.
Yeah, absolutely. I think we're all a big family when it comes to this stuff, you know. And the funny thing is about, especially with Amiga, contrary to popular belief, not a huge seller in the States. I mean, there's some people had them, but even fewer people hold them up now. Now, although more than recently than in the day. But I do feel like we got to sort of stand together. It's nice to have people out there you can talk about. Because I can tell you right now, when people ask me, like, hey, I hear you have a podcast. I go, yeah. And they're like, what's it about? I'm like, it's about the Amiga. They're like, what's that? I'm like, it's an old computer. They're like, I've never heard of it. I'm like, it's just about old computers, okay? And just walk away. They don't know what I'm talking about. So I don't think I've ever seen anyone that was like, oh, Amiga, I remember that. So the few of us that are into it, it's almost like a brotherhood, you know, but we got the secret that no one else has got. And so I feel like we're getting away with something, you know what I mean?
Well, it was like the Betacam versus DHS war all over.
I wonder if a bunch of beta owners are like us, sitting around having a beta convention.
They probably are.
It was better. What happened? Now, let me ask you real quick, because I know they're getting ready to start the auction. Have you enjoyed your time at Boatfest and Hurricane? Have you had a good time?
Yeah, I'm hoping you guys make this an annual event so that I can make sure that I'm going to be here, because I'm going to be here the next time you have this again. I missed your first thing, and you guys initially were thinking, well, maybe we'll do this, maybe not. I'm like hoping, yeah, come on, let's do this again, so I can come here and see you guys.
Well, I'm so happy to meet you, that you came down. Thanks for talking to us. You better go up and get you an auction number now so you can add to your collection, my friend.
I don't
Thanks
know,
again,
my wife
Rodney.
might kill me.
Hey, listen, she's got to be used to it by now, man. Thanks so much for talking to me, man. I appreciate that. Since I was wrong, we're not going to start the auction now, so I can get some more in. Look right here, everybody. This is a special treat. I'm going to tell, I've been asking people to tell their name, say where they're from, but I know this where this man's from. It's our good buddy Graham W. Wobcke from way down Australia. What part of Australia down there, Graham?
Sydney, Australia.
Sydney, Australia. It's amazing. And you came all the way up here to Boatfest from Sydney. Now, you know, Graham, you've been in our chats and watching our show for a long time. I mean, I remember you from pretty far back. You know, and you're sort of a man who has many interests in the computer and video gaming genres. Like, point out, I know you're a Nintendo guy too. So, what are your favorite machines and why?
Okay, that's a good question. Probably the Apple IIc was my first computer that I ever had at home.
Yeah.
I think that's probably the microcomputer that has the most fondest memories because it was the first one that we had in our home.
I didn't even know that. That's interesting.
Yeah, I still have an Apple IIc.
Oh, you kept it?
I kept it.
Yeah, because the MiSTer's not that good either on the Apple. It's got some issues, yeah.
You're right. People probably know that I play drums as well. And
yes.
Actually, when I started playing drums, I gave up because I thought, oh, this is too difficult.
Really?
So I gave up and I sold my drum kit and bought a Commodore 64 because everyone in the playground had a Commodore 64.
Right.
And they were all swapping games and I was the only Apple II guy.
Yeah, I understand that feeling all too well with the CoCo, yeah.
And the main reason we got the Apple II is because my mother worked in the library at the school and they had an Apple II in the library.
Yeah.
And my father was an industrial chemist, and they had an Apple II at his lab, so they could do work at home. And it was still a great machine, and it still had some good games, and it was good for doing assignments. But you know, when you're 13, 14, you want to play games. You don't want to type assignments.
You got that right. You got that right.
So ended up getting a Commodore 64 after selling my drum kit. And it came with a tape player, so not a disc drive. That came much later.
Yeah.
So when I bought it, it came. I don't think it was like an Ocean Pack, but it was similar to that. It came with like 5 or 6 games in the tapes, and yeah, the dual cassette player was the piracy centre of Brisbane, probably.
Yeah.
But yeah, I had a lot of fun with that machine. But as you say, the MiSTer does Commodore 64 really well. So
yeah, it does quite well.
Rid of that. The only other machines that I have that are not like a modern Switch, I have a Game Boy Advance still, and I have a GameCube.
You have one of those Game Boy Advances with the backlight, or do you have it?
Yeah, it's a SP101 model.
You know, the
clamshell one.
Yeah, the GBA. When I first saw it, Brent had one. I was like, my God, this is amazing.
Yeah.
But you couldn't see it, and I thought if this thing had a backlight, when they finally put one in, I'm like, man, and that machine's got one of the all-time great libraries,
yes.
and a lot of it unsung. Like you don't hear much about it, so that's an excellent choice.
Yeah. So I have quite a few games for the Game Boy Advance, and I've also got one of those EverDrive cards for it.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So that makes life easier if I want to travel with it, because I just take the EverDrive card and leave all the originals at home.
In some ways, that's maybe the ultimate portable on-the-road machine. If you think about it, it's real good.
3DS, I think, is a good one as well.
Yeah. How's the battery life on the GBA with the light in it?
You don't get long.
Yeah, that's the only downside, right? Yeah.
About 2 hours now because the battery's getting a bit old.
Yeah.
And the GameCube, which is probably the console I play the most these days. other than the Switch. Mostly because it's the only one I've got left. The kids have an Xbox, so they use that. But
one of the new ones?
No, 360.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah, because they like to do the Just Dance and Sing Style.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. They play Rock Band. I'm a Rock Band guy. Oh yeah.
But it's for the girls because the girls do dancing.
Yeah.
It's one of their main hobbies is dancing, so they do that. My son, he plays FIFA on his Switch all the time. That's his thing.
Yeah.
Or Rocket League, you play that on.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
On PC. Yeah, they're the main systems that I play with these days, other than this stuff. Only really the Atari 800 core and the Mini Amiga core and the PC Engine core. They're the main cores that I use on the stuff.
You need to branch out and get you some Auric in and get some of those. There's some oddball systems out there that are a lot of fun.
Well, I was playing with the BBC Master over there.
Oh yeah.
And I think I'm going to get into the BBC core.
Yeah, I noticed that you're getting into it. As I've seen you over there a lot, racking it up over there.
Yeah, I beat your score, but I didn't beat some of the others.
Oh really? There's someone got higher than you?
Yeah.
Wow, that's stunning. You know that BBC Master is a looker too. It's a good looking machine. I like the feel of it. You know,
the keys feel great.
It's like it's in the past and the future. Well, the past's future. You know what I mean? Now your big passion though, right? Your GameCube guy, right? Now why the GameCube? What is it about the GameCube that really turns you on?
Other than the fact that you can plug Game Boy Advance games into it.
Right, which is nice.
Yeah. I guess I'm someone that, to use a phrase, roots for the underdog.
Yeah, yeah.
I did have a PlayStation 2 with a lot of games, but there's a certain charm to the GameCube, and some games, still to this day, are really, really good when it's played on a nice TV.
Yeah. They had some real, there were some titles for the GameCube, I will say. I'm not the biggest fan, but there's some standout titles. The Star Wars game is the one that comes to mind. Such a beautiful, fun game. They really, that's like, in my mind, that's like one of your premier titles on there. And it was one of the launch titles. It was early on, I know that.
One of them was, I think, yeah.
It was awful good. Do you have a favorite game on there? Haha, put you on the spot.
I do like the Time Splitters 2 version that's on there.
Yeah.
I like Soul Calibur that's on there.
Oh yeah, that one has is Link in that one. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And I also like the Metroid Prime game. Which was recently ported to Switch.
Yeah, yeah.
And I think the Switch version is probably even better with the lighting and all that sort of stuff.
You know, the GameCube got a couple, I know you're not into wrestling games per se, but they got a couple exclusive games, the Day of Reckoning series, and they're both great, and they didn't get put on anything else, and always kind of bummed me out, and that series sort of got left in the dust. I thought it was one of the better ones. Now, I'm going to put you on the spot again, because GBA, do you have a fave on there?
Yeah, I have 3 games that I go to all the time. One is a game that I'm eventually going to write that baseball article that I promised.
Oh yeah! Oh yeah! Wow!
Baseball Advance. It's made by Sega.
Yeah.
Love that. I think it's probably my favourite baseball game.
Oh.
Of everything, even the MLBs and whatnot. Advanced Wars, which I really like as well.
That's a real popular one. I suck at that game, but I know people love it.
Yeah, I think that's probably one of the better strategy turn-based games on the system.
Yeah.
And of course, I also like the Super Mario titles on there.
Yeah, which are great.
They're great time wasters, you know.
You know, when they got me on there was Street Fighter Alpha.
Oh, yeah.
Wow. I saw all the characters, and I'm like, holy smokes.
Yeah.
They really put out all the stuff. So there's like Tekken on there. There's all kinds of crazy stuff. Every once in a while I'll stream on the GBA. I'm just like, I'm always amazed at the wacky stuff. There's a lot of garbage too, but there's There's some good stuff. Now, you know, a couple years ago, you were the first person I think I know of that really got into the Mister and sort of like culled your collection down I mean, way back. And at the time, people were like, Graham, you've lost your mind, you know. But now, all of a sudden, you were a trendsetter because I've seen a lot of people doing that because the Mister does handle a lot of the day-to-day stuff pretty nice. I mean, a lot of the chords are, I mean, practically 100%.
Yeah.
What was it what pushed you to make that jump, to just say the heck with it, I'm getting rid of this physical stuff and going Mister side?
It was basically a space issue. My, shall I call it, man cave is not very big.
Right.
It's only like 7 foot by 7 foot.
Right.
And with a set of drums in there as well, that doesn't leave a lot of room.
No, I can see not, yeah.
So I had a lot of gear in boxes, and if I wanted to use it, I'd have to pack one system up and then unpack another system, and that got a bit laborious.
Yeah.
So I decided to basically get rid of everything except the Apple II and the GameCube, and now I've got the Mister and the GBA as well. And now I can just load the Mister if I want to do something that's not Apple II or GameCube.
Yeah. Now, you know, when we first met back in the day when we were doing Amigos, you were and I presumably still are a fan of the Amiga stuff, you know.
Yeah.
What got you into the Amiga back in the day? You know, and you had a pretty decent Amiga setup, as I recall, didn't you, back in the day?
Well, actually, I didn't get into Amigas until 2015. That was my first time.
Right. How did you that late in the game?
Yeah.
Because you didn't grow up with one or anything.
No, I had an ST from
right.
about 91 to 96.
So you really switched sides quick right there. So what happened?
Well, I just felt like exploring something that I wasn't that familiar with.
Yeah.
And the prices of them were quite reasonable at that time because the retro gaming boom hadn't hit.
Right, yeah.
So I picked up 2 Amiga 500s for, you know, quite a good price. And then I started looking for, you know, ways to learn more about it, and I discovered Flack's podcast first.
Yeah. Was it Spritecast or yeah?
You don't know.
You don't know Flack, yeah.
And then Spritecast.
Right.
And then there was another Amiga podcast. I think it was called Amiga Rama, which doesn't exist anymore.
Oh yeah. The guy that ran that, real nice guy. I talked to a bunch of he was actually one of our patrons for a long time.
Yeah, he was really nice fellow.
So you found him before us?
Yeah.
That's That's wild. I didn't know that. I feel like you've been there longer than that. Yeah.
Well,
I would say that he left. I like his style.
Yeah.
And he was real knowledgeable too.
His name was Lefarius.
Lefarius. That's exactly right.
Yeah. How I discovered you guys was the cross interview that you did with Flack.
Oh yeah. And
it was real early on. It was like episode 8 or something.
Yeah, Flack's very responsible for us ever doing a show.
Yeah.
He did You Don't Know Flack's called How to Do a Podcast, and I think that was what really started the ball rolling. You probably heard it, you know.
Yeah. I actually starred on my phone.
Oh, there you go.
I get the urge one day.
You know, and Flack, he's sort of that. He's fathered quite a few of these things, I think. You know. That's great, though. Remind me to buy him a beer later, Graham. And I like after the fact.
Yep.
What's wrong?
I completely brain fried and I killed your mic. Go ahead.
Oh, so that's okay. That's okay, dude. The Lord giveth, the Lord taketh away. No, so.
Just talking. I didn't really
We never stop, Josh. That's so. Like I said, you and Boat sort of came into that thing at the same time. Because Boat, when we started the show, never even won a game.
Yeah.
You know, and so.
I had seen an Amiga before because I was a member of a Commodore user
Look at
group,
this.
and I had the Commodore 64.
We were just talking about you, Jack Flack.
Yeah.
We were just putting you over strong, brother.
Do it again.
To put
Keep going.
You know, back in the old days, he was strong, but now, like, what a desperate hack.
Yeah, so I was a member of a Commodore 64 user group back in Brisbane in Australia, which is where I was born.
Yeah.
Before I moved to Sydney when I was 24, 25. Chasing jobs and girls, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah, so at those Commodore 64 user groups, there were some Amigas there, and I used to see some of the games that they had, and I didn't really do anything with them other than, you know, like I had a couple of games on there. It was mostly speedball and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
It was like very early 90s when I was at that club. And then I thought, well, you know, retro computing is starting to become a thing again. Let's go down the road of Amiga and see what it's like. Considering I was batting for the other team.
Yeah. Yeah. Did you do a lot of gaming on the ST? And you know?
No, not really. It was mostly a computer that I got to do lab work at my university because it had the ability to read 720k IBM compatible disks as long as you saved the files in ASCII. And I was studying C programming at that time, so I was using a C compiler as well, so I could do the work at home. And getting an ST out of a, well, it's out of a bargain bin, to be honest. and I owned a TV. But I did grow to like the ST.
Well, that's actually quite a deal. If you go into bar, because an ST is much maligned, but it does a lot of good stuff very well. And of course, you could go into the argument of when it came out, it was so cheap. Yeah, it was. You know, so I mean, I've learned to appreciate it over the last couple of years for sure.
Yeah, it was. I think it was about $129.
That's a steal right there.
Yeah. And
you ain't gonna get them that cheap today.
No, you had the 14-inch portable television like everyone in those days.
Yeah.
Just plugged it straight into that. And it came with Atari Works, I think it was, which is the word processor.
Oh yeah.
And then there was some software that you could get to do C. It might have been Pure C or something like that for the C compiler and editor. And I only had a few games. I had Gauntlet, or Gauntlet 2, one of those, I can't remember. Eventually I bought Civilization because, you know, that was a game that you just play over and over and over and over.
Yeah. I love that one.
And the ST, so I call it piracy scene, wasn't that big in Australia. There wasn't that many people.
So you were buying this stuff outright then?
Outright.
You probably got it pretty cheap though when you could find it.
And I had Dungeon Master as well.
Oh yeah. Well, you had two of the best games right there.
So
Yeah.
I had games that had a lot of long-term play.
Yeah. If you could get Sundog someday, you'd have had it all.
Well, I played that on Apple II.
Oh yeah. I heard it was real good on there too. Yeah.
Excellent on Apple II. Yeah.
I forgot. That's where it came from. You're right.
Yeah. So yeah, that's a great game. That's a 100-hour plus game, that one.
It's the best ST game we've played. I will say that. Yeah.
Right.
So you came up. After the ST. You went down the Amiga path. But now, would you consider yourself? I never really considered you. You're more like a cosmopolitan type. You're like me in a lot of ways. We like a swath of different stuff.
Yeah.
And that's what makes it great, isn't it? I mean, allegiances and schoolyard battles are hilarious, but they're not. We're adults now, and and plus you get the sample from the smorgasbord of fun systems out there.
That's right.
You know, that's what I like. But now, you've come all this way to Hurricane, and you've been all over. You cut through Chicago and up into Canada. What do you think, and be honest, what did you think so far of West Virginia, and what did you think of our little town so far, what you've seen of it?
It's very peaceful.
Yes, that's one way to put it, yeah. Someone had a picture, but it may have been you. I think it was Canadian Retro Things over there. It said, "I have arrived in Hurricane," and it was just an empty street, and there were no cars, there were no people. I was like, "That's it, all right."
No, it's fresh. I quite like the vibe here, actually, especially after coming from Chicago, which was such a busy...
we should have all of our visitors routed through there. We'd get over.
Yeah. but it's such a busy, self-centered type city with a lot of violence as well when I was there.
Yeah.
And the air quality was nowhere.
Oh yeah. Plus all that Canadian stuff. Yeah.
I preferred Vancouver to Chicago.
Yeah, yeah, I can imagine that. Yeah, yeah.
Each to their own. But Hurricane reminds me of some of the smaller towns that I've been to in Australia.
Yeah.
For the longest time, our family holidayed in a small town called Harrington, and it's got a population of 1,700, I think, and it's on the Manning River in northern New South Wales.
Yeah.
3.5 hours north of Sydney.
Yeah.
And it's got the same vibe.
Yeah, I mean,
I quite enjoy it. It's very relaxing on the soul.
Yeah, everything here is laid back, you know.
Every person's been, kind and, willing to say, oh, you're from Australia. And, oi, 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 Aussie.
Oh, God. How sick of that do you get? I hear that all the time. And if you're a wrestling fan, all the Australian guys come out and do it. You're just like, please stop. You're killing me here.
Everyone that does it is drunk. I don't care what other Australians say, they're drunk.
Now, what have you thought of the event so far? Have you enjoyed yourself here at Boatfest so far?
I've had a blast.
Oh, good.
I'll be back next year. Don't worry.
Oh, wow, outstanding.
Yes.
It's
probably one of the best events I've been to. Actually, I've been to a few, including some of my local ones in Sydney. The Apple event in Sydney is quite good, though.
Yeah.
It's right up there.
I thought about this a lot because we've got you here for all over Australia. We've got Pajaco's here from. We've got a couple people here from England, and I thought, I've talked to Boat about this. I'm like, man, these guys are coming all the way up here. I would hate for them to come up here and have like a bad time.
Yeah.
But this is the kind of thing where it's not like we can just. There's nothing you can do. You go in and the vibe is there, and you just let it go. So it makes me happy to hear you've had fun. Have you seen any interesting machines here that you've aside from obviously the ZX Next? I know that was on the list.
Yeah.
Everyone likes that one. Have you seen anything here that caught your eye?
Well, the BBC Master, as I said before.
Yeah, the BBC Master for sure.
That's a fantastic machine for what little time I've had with it.
Yeah, and if you watched him repair that thing, it was remarkable. It was all jacked up,
Yeah. The other machine that I liked looking at was the PC Engine Duo over here.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I do like PC Engine.
Have you ever owned a PC Engine now? Is that one do you play often on the Mister?
Yeah. My exposure to that was 1991 when I was at Tech College.
Yeah.
We had a Japanese exchange student, and he actually bought one with him.
Oh, wow. Yeah. I bet that was a mind melter when that happened.
Mind melter, because at that time we all had Master Systems.
Yeah, and there's no comparison there. And I love the Master System, but I mean, the PC Engine's it's a gamer's machine. I mentioned it earlier. I mean, it's got a lot of good stuff on it,
I still find it hard to believe how it fails.
Yeah. Allow me to introduce you to a sequel machine, the Super Graphics, which was a disaster.
Yeah.
So it failed because they dropped the ball big time.
I just can't believe it.
I wonder if that had caught on in the States, if they could have really ran with the PC Engine, Turbo Graphics. It was another machine. It was like, I don't know anyone that had one, in the States. But I come across them occasionally, but I've got one. I picked one up at a pawn shop, but it's the first one I've ever seen in person, so it is a great machine though. And he has a real nice one over there. I've never seen the Duo in person, so and the one thing I like about this, like they're demoing those Super Nintendo converters over there, it's real cool. What is it, Pac? Oh, I'm up? Okay, I'll be right over. I got to talk to you later, too. So I'm getting ran off here. Well, listen, Graham, I've enjoyed talking to you. I'm so happy you came out. By the way, I got one more quick question. Heck with Pac. What's it like standing over at the boat mansion? You've been given the rare privilege to stay over at Boats, and especially last night. I'm sure it was quite the night when you guys rolled into Boat Manor.
Yes, he was. I think he found a new thing to worship, like the throne. In
What are you laughing at, Matt? You were right there. You were right in the same throne room, my friend. Oh yeah.
It's been very good. Ethan and John have been very good hosts, and I'll return the favour. Come on.
Oh yeah.
Extend it to you guys.
Oh, hey, that's awesome. That's awesome. Well, Graham, thank you for talking to me. I appreciate you coming out, my friend. I've loved meeting you. It's been great. Thank you very much, man.
All right.
Listen, bam. Hey everyone, look who's here. It's our good friend Mitsuyama. Mitch, welcome to the country after you've been here for several days. So let me ask you, first of all, I've started every interview the same way. Tell everybody your name, your username, and where you're from.
Hey everyone, my name's Stephen. My username is Mitsuyama, and I'm from the UK, Manchester.
Manchester, very good. Now, here it is. It's 10:30 on a Saturday night. Boatfest shuts down here about an hour and a half for the night. What have you thought so far? Have you had a good time?
I've had a great time, yeah. Coming all the way from the UK to see you guys, it's been a pleasure to meet you. But obviously, you know, it's you go to events in the UK, similar to this, bigger to this.
Yeah, yeah.
You've seen the systems before, but it's always a social thing that's the best thing about these shows.
Yeah.
Getting to meet you guys, getting to meet Mr. Kola, I've seen him on stream. Obviously Flack, seen him on stream on his podcast as well. And other members of the Discord community as well, just getting to meet them in person. Frank as well, and the Retro Rewind guys, Jason, L. Curtis Boyle, Graham, I met before in Australia, in Ireland, where we went to Amiga Island, but yeah, we're just catching up with the guys again. It's been great, yeah.
Yeah, it's nice to put faces to the names in a lot of ways. And a lot of people here I'd never met before. I mean, they weren't even part of our Discord or anything, they just kind of showed up. That's been a lot of fun. Now, you flew in, and you got here, was it Wednesday or Thursday?
Wednesday night.
Wednesday night.
Yeah.
Now, this is your first trip to Hurricane, I'm guessing. What did you think of our little town when you rolled in?
Well, to hear you talk about it on stream, you painted as like some backwater, washed up, tiny little nothing place. But
there's not much going on now.
Well, it's nice enough. It's a nice little. It's real America, isn't it? I mean, I've been to New York before. I've been to LA before.
Yeah.
Been to Vegas before.
Yeah.
They're just tourist traps. This is your real heartland USA.
Yeah,
what I would say is real heartland USA. Just normal people in a normal town. And you've got everything you need here. It's not got the glitz or the glamour, sure, but I think it's a nice little town. You can make a nice little life for yourself here. I think it's a good enough place.
I dig it. It's not that bad. Now, here at Boatfest, we've been very fortunate to have a wide array of different machines. I mean, we've had every sort of crazy machine, from the new one to the ZX Next, all these different machines. Have you seen anything that really tickled your fancy? Of course, you brought the Next down here, which is great.
I wanted to bring the Next down because there's not many of them around.
No, that's the only one I've ever touched.
Yeah,
it was great.
And as I've been saying to people, you could do everything on the Next. You can do it on the Mister or other FPGA solutions or emulate it.
Yeah.
But to see the actual real machine and that's the unique selling point of it. The manufacturing of it, the injection mold in the keyboard. So I wanted to bring that along and show that off. But yeah, I mean, the video toaster setup you can see over there.
Petzel really outdoes stuff. It's like he really knows his stuff,
Yeah, and it's like, again, they weren't very common in the UK, the video toaster setup. So getting to look at that and getting time to play on that's been really good. Josh has brought some really interesting stuff. I mean, his BBC Master, it's a British computer. Come all the way to America to see a British computer.
Have you seen that often in the UK? I wonder, you see that often?
No, you see the Model Bs more than anything, because there was hundreds of Model Bs in schools all over the country. And they're the ones that you see most often. But seeing the Master there, it's one of the more rarer. I wouldn't say they were rare, as in scarce, but it's not a very common one. You don't see a lot of it at shows. Like I said, the Model B is usually the ones, But
I like the feel of it and the look of it. It's almost stuck.
It's robust.
It's stuck between two different time periods almost, and it's big and hardy with a real nice keyboard.
Yeah.
It's a good looking machine, and I had a good time playing it too. I was surprised.
I mean, the BBC computers were designed for use in school, so they had to survive school kids hammering on them day in day out. You know, they had to be a bit robust, and yeah, the BBC's always got a place in my heart. Yeah.
Yeah, I've been very happy with the variety. It's one of the good things about having people just bring different stuff. You know, we could have had a room full of Amigas or CoCos, but I like seeing a good variety, man. I like the variety, and there's been some real wild, wacky stuff here in the show. Now, I'm assuming you participated in some. I know you participated in some of these contests and gaming things. How did we fare tonight?
Well, Mr. Kola beat me by 90 points on the old.
That's brutal.
Yeah, the shooter that was running on the BBC.
Astro Blaster.
Yeah.
I thought you were going to win that.
Damn you, Kola.
Kola's a stud. Yeah, he mentioned that. Trust me, don't worry.
Yeah.
And both of you guys crushed my 10,000 point score or whatever. And I thought I was doing pretty well at it.
Yeah.
But a fun game. I like that game a lot. But Kola's a real superstar when it comes to that. Now. When are you heading out of town? Are you going to be around till Monday or Tuesday, or do you have to leave right away?
No, we'll be coming to the arcade trip tomorrow,
right.
Staying tomorrow night, and then flying out on Monday, midday on Monday.
Should I ask you, I think we talked about this, but I'm not sure. Your flight in, you came in, how was that?
It was uneventful. Flew from Manchester to Atlanta.
Yeah.
Bit of a layover in Atlanta, luckily, because it took over 2 hours to get through immigration.
Yeah.
And then it's 1.5 hours in the air.
And you, I believe you came in at night, didn't you? Charleston. So you were spared the horrific event of flying into Yeager Airport. But you'll be, dude. Thank you for those, by the way. I really appreciate it. You'll be getting that experience when are you heading out during the day when you leave?
Yeah, midday.
Outstanding.
Yeah.
You're gonna look like you're just driving off the side of the mountain, and then when you see the pilot going like this, you'll know you're in the air.
Well, it felt like a short runway when we were landing, because as soon as we touched down, the pilot put on the brakes, slammed it in reverse, and you in your seat. He wanted to stop pretty quick. Yeah.
Well, listen. I've been so happy to have you come down.
It's been a pleasure to be here.
It's funny because we've talked a million times in chat, of course, via the International Computer Club and whatnot.
On Discord,
But I mean, and I'll tell you something, and sincerely, listen, when anyone when you're trying to get something over, like, hey, why don't everyone come to Hurricane, West Virginia? When Boat suggested it, I felt like an idiot. I was like, no one's coming here.
Yeah.
And I mean, people in the States aren't coming here. So when people were, it's real nerve-wracking when you have people coming in from, like, they're flying in or coming from real far away. And so I hope you had a good time.
I had a great time, and I'd say to anyone, when this is held next year, if you're on the fence about coming, I would say just come along. It's a great show. It's great people. Everyone's really friendly. It's the same sort of crew that you speak to, retro computing. Everyone shares the same love of the same hobby. Yeah. So get yourselves down here for Boatfest 2024.
Well, look, what an endorsement. We're real lucky too. Everyone is super cool.
Yeah.
And it makes it a lot easier. Man, I'm telling you, I wouldn't even be doing this stuff if it wasn't for the guys we got and gals to a certain degree.
Well, it's a credit to yourself and John and the Brent that you've built such a great community. We've got no drama in the Discord, and that translates to events like this as well. Everyone's super nice, everyone's super cool, and everyone's got a lot of time to spend and talk to each other.
My God, listen to our new publicist here.
It's a tribute. It's a tribute. Well, it is, isn't it? It's a tribute to the community that you guys have built all around your podcast and other things. It's really great.
That's real nice of you to say. Hey, thank you very much for coming over here.
You're welcome, Aaron.
It's a pleasure to meet you, my friend. I'll be talking to you more later, by the way. Thank you very much. Say goodbye to everybody.
Bye, Chad.
Thank you. Hey, look who's here, everybody.
Hey.
We're doing a thing. Tell everybody your name, your board name, and where you're out of, man.
Okay, so my name's Paul, Pajaco6502 or Pajaco6502.
Yeah.
I'm from the UK, and I've said about 90,000 times a day. It's 25 miles southwest of London. That's the easiest way to describe it.
Are a lot of people, because I mean, obviously, you and Mitsuyama and Graham and even the Lord, you guys have good, nice accents. I'm guessing you're getting that a lot when you go to stores or pizza. Or
do you know what? I thought I would, but not so much. Like, you've had a couple of people say, "Oh, where are you from?" and you say, "Oh, UK."
Yeah.
But no one's like, "Oh, like when I came to the States the first time many years ago when I was young, you got the, "Oh, I love your accent." Oh, and none of that, The worst thing, actually, Graham will kill me for this. The worst thing that used to happen is like, oh, what part of Australia are you from? It's like, I'm not, you know. So, yeah.
You know, we're kind of sensitive around here about accents.
Yeah.
So maybe we're just going to lighten up on everybody.
Yeah.
We get hammered all the time. Oh, listen to your thick hick accents. Like, well, sorry, you know. Now listen. You came all the way over here.
Yep.
Now I know showed up during the day. You got in, what was it Thursday? You rolled in
Thursday
here?
around 6 o'clock, something like
now,
that.
how was the flight in? And we talked about this. What did you think of landing there in Jaeger?
So the flight was fine. I watched a bunch of movies, which is unlike me. I normally play games.
Yeah.
But the flight into Jaeger was interesting because it was raining and it was very cloudy. So they came into land and it was a bit bumpy.
Yeah.
And then we're sitting there and all of a sudden the plane just went woo and took off again.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, what's going on? And then you hear the stewardess go, no, that's fine. There was probably a plane on the runway or something.
Yeah.
This happens all the time. It's like, oh, okay.
That scares the crap out of you. It happened to me one time.
Yeah.
Josh agrees with us here.
I mean, I've heard the takeoff is scarier, but it should be fun.
I was just talking to Mitch about that. You say, now you're going to be flying out during the day?
7 o'clock in the evening on Monday.
Oh,
so,
okay. It'll be daytime.
Yeah.
It just looks like you're driving off a cliff.
Yeah.
And hopefully, like I said, if you see the plow going like this, you know you're in trouble.
Yeah, just running down the end to get out with the chute on. You know,
now,
then you're in.
Your first visit to Hurricane.
Yep.
What have you thought? I asked Mitch to say, what do you think of Hurricane to town? You probably heard us talking about it a million times.
Well, it's that weird thing when you live somewhere all your life, you kind of don't see how nice things can be. You just kind of see all the bad things. You put it down. Yeah. I think it's really lovely around here. It's a lot of natural scenery. Got a lot of fun stores. Like we went out to eat, and there was a game store we went into. Some cool stuff there. There was a hobby shop. So I think it's really nice around here. It's like.
Did you like the restaurants we had? We got real lucky with these restaurants this weekend.
No, we had some good stuff.
We had like a burger restaurant.
Yep.
We've had pizza down here. Yep. We've had Thai.
And we went for hot dogs at lunch. They were good.
Yeah. So it was a lot of fun down there.
Mm-hmm.
Now here we are at Boatfest. What have you thought of the event so far?
It's brilliant. So I've been to like a couple of events like the Spectrum Live and thing, and they're quite big shows.
Yeah.
And they're interesting, but things like this is like a user club. So if you're in the UK and you've been to like a Southwest Amiga group or Patreon days at the cave, it's like that. It's nice, it's sociable, you can get around and play on a bunch of stuff, talk to a bunch of people, and it's great because I get to meet you for the first time. I met John for the first time. So I'm really having a great time. You can tell my voice is going because I've spent the last couple of days yakking.
That's the funny thing about this weekend, the days seem to last forever, but when you look back, it's just like one long blur.
Yep.
I've been running back and forth, and I know you have to, just play this, fool with that, talk about this, back and forth. And then you look up, and you're like, man, that seemed like it went on for a while, now it's over, I don't know what to do. And if one time you're not doing anything, you're looking around like, okay, where's the next thing,
Yeah, and I've met some great people, and weird, it's the strange thing is, because you're on Discord, like 90% of the time, you only know them by their Discord name.
Right.
So now you're putting faces to names. And,
I'm assuming there's been quite a few people here that you met the first time. Has anyone you saw, they didn't look anything like you thought they would, or vice versa, people that looked exactly like you thought they would?
I think because I've seen people on, I've done a couple of video calls and things, and I've seen photographs. So generally, no. I think everyone's kind of mostly looked like what I remember. I think Jeff. I've heard, Flack talk about Jeff so much, and it's like I never knew what Jeff looked like. I thought it was his brother because they look quite similar.
They do. I agree with that. I thought the same thing. I mean, if they'd said they were brothers, I would be like,
100%.
But the difference is he's not smacking Jeff around every so often, like I do Brent. You know how that goes. Now listen, we've had there's a smorgasbord of hardware here. Have you seen anything that tickled your fancy?
So I got to play on a real CoCo 3, so we don't have, that never launched in the UK.
So you play, that's mine over there, you get to play on
I put the 3D goggles on and played that.
Crazy, isn't it?
But it's one of those machines that I've really only been introduced to through the sort of ARG Discord and the CoCo show. And I really like it as a machine because it's kind of, it reminds me a lot of like the BBC Micro, and it didn't get a lot of love from like mainstream game manufacturers. So you got like a lot of knockoffs and stuff.
I love that though.
Yeah, and then the high score champions. I was just playing some stuff on the hyped up Amiga over there.
Oh, you're talking about the Lord's X5000. What a piece of work that thing is.
Oh, that's beautiful. That is.
Is this the first time you met the Lord down
here?
Yeah. Isn't he the best?
Yeah.
Look at, he's here. We were just talking about you. It's always a pleasure. Good job on your wins, by the way. Look at that. So good, both of you.
Yeah.
You guys both have a great smile, too. Look how nice they are. Aren't they great?
Yep.
Be careful heading back to Huntington, okay?
Yeah. Have a safe trip back.
Good night, guys.
See ya.
Bye-bye. Aren't they great?
Oh, brilliant.
The Lord came in last year, and he's the friendliest guy.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable. But I mean, everyone here, there have been no sourpusses that I've found.
Not at all. I love his daughter. Like, she came over. I played the Vauxhall Bird game really late, and she came over and she's like, "Oh, and get this and get the red flower and do this and do this." And then she went, "I think I'm going to win the trophy because my score's off the chart."
I heard her say that, and I was like, "Yeah, it's early on." And then, she won that thing.
No, good on her. Good on her. She such a smile on her face when she won that. It was brilliant.
They both are contagious in their joy.
Yep.
You know, and the Lord came from a tough background there.
Yep.
You know, so he's a real good guy.
Yep.
Now, so you've been here for a few days, right? You've been, where were you staying this weekend?
Boat very kindly
That's
offered
right.
to put him up.
I want to make sure you throw it out there now. What's it like? What's behind the scenes? What's it like at Boat Manor?
So he beats me. He's made me.
So he's a lot like me. I get it now.
No, he's been him and Eep have been absolutely like welcoming. They've been great.
Yeah.
We got to have breakfast yesterday. We sat out on the porch and looked out at the wonderful scenery.
Oh, it's nice. It's great.
You know, we watched trucks reversing down the hill. It was just like that. That doesn't happen normally. So. Yeah. And then he took us, and because Graham's there as well. We went for a walk around the neighbourhood for like the morning walk yesterday, and we were looking at all the different houses, and it's been really, really nice. And
Did you go to that really, really steep hill that has up there?
Yep.
You know, I've blown out 2 transmissions going up there when I was delivering pizza. It's a brutal hill.
Yeah, it looks like someone's bombed it. It's,
man.
Yeah.
And then you get snow and stuff on that, you're done.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's worse than landing a Jaeger to go up there.
Yeah.
The boat lives in a real nice area out there.
Yeah, it's nice.
Our boat's like on one end of Hurricane. I'm sort of in the other, and Hurricane really doesn't really encompass that length of that area. You know. It's funny, people are asking me because you guys went to this pizza place down here.
Yep.
I've never been to it. I never come downtown because there's no reason to come down here. You know? So it's been nice for me too. I almost feel like I've been a visitor in a lot of ways. So when you head back over, what's the next? Because you do some of these events. What's next on the agenda?
But when I go back home, so I've got a Patreon day at Retro Man Cave because I haunt their Discords as well.
You've been over there.
Yeah. And if you're in the UK or visiting and you're in the neck of the woods in Stroud, they've got the arcade archive there as well. And it's a great day out. Like, you'll need the whole day because there's so much there. And so many times I go and you end up exactly like you're just chatting to everyone, and then it's the day's over, and you're like, "Oh, I haven't played on anything." And then Mitz and I will be at Zap Live in August, based on the Commodore 64, and then in November the tickets haven't gone on sale yet. They're doing Spectrum Live again. So we'll probably go to that. So,
are you guys going to go to Ravi's big Amiga?
I know Mitz's. I can't make it, sadly. But that's going to go off. That is going to be a good event.
You know what I love? I'm going to tell you this, and this is the Amiga community or the retro. Like, we've been really good pals with Neil for years. He's been one of our supporters, believe it or not, for a long time. He's a great guy. He's been super nice. Of course, him and Boat did the show. And then on their show now, they've got Velociraptor and Dave Velociraptor. He's one of buddies of ours forever. We've been great friends with Ravi forever. He's been one of our biggest supporters, and Dan. We've loved those guys. So it's fun when you're talking about all the stuff you're doing. It's like you're doing all the stuff with all of our buddies over there. I'm very jealous, by the way, because I'd love to go to the cave. I'd love to go to the arcade. I know I'm a big arcade guy, and I'm sure you can tell me how awesome it is.
Oh, it's great. It's fantastic. It's so, and Alex is so like he knows so much. And he's like enthusiastic about it all, and it's great to just go down. That's the thing, you go down, you talk to people that are into it, and
it makes me happy that like guys like Neil and Ravi and like Pixels at Dawn and all those guys, they're doing great. And it's they beat the trend. Good things are happening to good people.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
And it makes me happy that they're doing well. I mean, doing stuff like what Neil did with the Cave or launching a magazine in 2020 or 2019, it's madness. You think, my God, there's no way that'll work.
No, but people want it, you know.
You know, it's great. It makes me so happy.
Yep.
You're a lucky man. You get to
Yes,
do that
very
stuff.
much so, and there's so much more opening up. So in August, I'll be on holiday with my family.
Yeah.
And there's Arcade Club up in Manchester, so we're going to visit that. There's the Northwest Computer Museum I'm going to try and visit.
Oh, man.
I mean, my wife's going to, she's going to love it. But no, it'll be good. It'll be fun.
Oh, that's
So,
great, man. Listen, I'm so super duper jealous. I'm so happy you came to town.
Me too.
It's been
me
great
too.
meeting because I've seen you so many times.
Yep.
How many times have I read your reviews?
Oh,
a million
too many.
times.
Yeah,
By
too
the way,
many.
missing that ARG questions earlier
Yeah.
was appalling. Study harder.
Yeah,
I'll inform the Brits.
Yeah, for those of you out there, if you watched it, I tanked at the quiz. I think I came dead last with like minus 2,400.
Although both quizzes are questionable. I'm not going to lie to you. And I did like that when you debunked his one answer.
Pixels at Dawn, you got the two mouse question wrong, dude. It was Marble Madness.
You can take that up with him personally when
I
you
see him.
Hey, it's been great seeing you. I've really enjoyed having you down here.
Oh, it's been brilliant.
I hope you'll come back and visit us sometime in the future.
If I can swing it, 100% I will be back. But yeah, because then at the end of the day, it turned out it was the logistics was actually far more simpler than I thought it was. So, absolutely, I'd love to come back.
I love it. Hey, thanks very much. Say goodbye to everybody.
Bye, everyone. See you later.
Everybody. We'll be right back. Hey, everyone, look who's here. It's our good buddy Tapes. Hey, tell them your name, your board name, and where you're coming out of.
All right, so I'm from Texas. Used to go by Tapes from the Crypt. Now it's just shortened to Tapes. I collect VHS tapes, so fully stuck in the past.
Yes, sir. Now, what part of Texas are you coming out of?
Like the Dallas-Fort Worth area.
Oh, man. You know, I'm a big Cowboys fan. I don't know if you knew that. And they'd kill me. And we actually visited. We were at the last season. The Texas Stadium was around. We went to the game.
Oh, nice.
With the Redskins where they got beat, you know. That's a tough team to love. I don't know if you're a football fan at all.
I'm a Cowboys fan. I know the heartache.
Man, they're killing me here, man. It's tough on us. So, that's a pretty good drive up here from Texas, man. We're so happy to have you come up. Is this your first time in West Virginia when you came up here?
Not first time in West Virginia.
Really?
And I got kind of lucky. We're in Mobile right now. My wife's finishing up school.
Yeah.
So, came from Alabama, but I've driven through West Virginia before.
Yeah, we get that a lot.
It's gorgeous.
Yeah.
Absolutely beautiful.
Until you hit the toll road. It ain't so pretty then, is it? You gotta pay.
But hey, it's still gorgeous. Happy to come. It's been a great time.
Have you been? You've never been to Hurricane, presumably.
Never been to Hurricane.
What do you think of our little town?
I actually really like it. I think you and Boat are kind of low selling it.
You know, you're the second person to say that. Am I not putting it over enough?
No, it's nice. I still don't understand why it's pronounced Hurricane instead of Hurricane.
I don't either.
Yeah.
I've never, because it was founded. The reason they called it Hurricane, there's a Hurricane Creek up here.
And it's the trees, right?
And the trees, and they called it. It looks like I hit by a hurricane. Why? Because it's a cool name. Why not go with that?
I don't know.
You know, I don't know. Who knows? They botched the gimmick. That's for sure. Now, I don't know how many of these. Do you go to a lot of like retro conventions and whatnot?
Not as many as I'd like to. I try to go to one a year or so.
Yeah. Well, have you enjoyed your time here at Boatfest so far?
Oh, 100%. Would absolutely recommend it to anybody.
Oh,
thinking of
really?
going.
You really enjoyed? That's great. Now you brought a very special piece of hardware up here, and you know we've talked this for like the past year about this thing, which was the new one.
Yeah.
I can finally say I played the new one. I used the joystick on the new one. I mean, for what that's worth.
And now it's your favorite system.
And now
obviously.
I sort of do want one, and which is in madness. You know, I mean, I just bought an Atari ST, which is goofier. I don't know. You know. Are you in? You know, do you have a decent collection? I guess, right? You got a pretty good collection of stuff.
Pretty good.
What do you have? What's the high points of your collection? What are you into?
Oh, I mean, my high points, my Super Nintendo. I love this. My favorite
system.
system.
Oh, you're an okay.
Yeah, that and my 1200. Those are my two favorites.
Yeah.
But it's a little everything. But as far as the weird stuff, I would say the Nuon. And maybe the PCFX is probably the weirdest thing I know. And I fully blame ARG for that.
Yeah, that's. I mean, we buried that machine, didn't we? I don't remember liking it that much.
Yeah, but you know, it looks nice.
It does.
And it's got an interesting library, and it's just weird enough to intrigue me.
Is ARG, how did you find us? I mean, are you one with the Amiga? I mean, because you've been around forever, so you must have hooked up with the Amigos before you...
Yeah, it was... back when I first started following, I think it was like episode 3 or 4. It could not have been.
Oh, geez, you're kidding me that long ago.
It was pretty early.
And you came here to those?
And I literally found y'all just looking. I would search the Apple Podcast app for the word Amiga, and it's usually a bunch of Spanish podcasts.
Yeah, yeah. That is a problem.
And y'all popped up, and I was like, oh, okay, I'll check it out.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, I'm glad you did. I mean, episode 3 though, man, that was rough back in those days.
I never thought it sounded bad or anything. Yeah, I know y'all had some issues, but
we haven't changed that much though. I mean, for better or for worse, we've been consistently whatever we are. I don't know what that is. So now, have you met? Is a lot of people here you've met them for the first time, or did you know anybody here like personally?
No,
I know you've
other than from
Discord.
the Discord.
Yeah. Did anyone look or not look like you expected them to when you saw them?
No, not really. I mean, and everybody's just as friendly as they are online.
They're
which is
super nice. We're very lucky. We're very lucky. Now, you brought, in my opinion, if not the nuttiest console, one of the nuttiest, but there's a smorgasbord of computers and stuff. Did you see anything that tickled your fancy? That's something you may pick up in the future?
So much, honestly.
Really?
But the number one thing that I'm like, oh, I gotta buy this is that Nabu computer. It's so weird. It's right up my alley. Yeah.
Listen, that's another thing I never touched. I never heard of this thing until like 2 years ago.
Same here.
And then all of a sudden they're the big thing. Everybody's gonna have one, right? Yeah. And so, and you got to give Josh credit. He brought some real ringers over there with that and the BBC Master, which is a beauty. But the Nabu is a real unusual setup there, and it's just such an oddity. You know, you're right. It is a real attractive. There's an allure to it.
It is, yeah.
You're gonna get one?
I think so, yeah.
Now you were pretty active in the auctions tonight, as I recall. Did you come away with anything good?
I got a Raspberry Pi Model B.
You're the guy that got that.
I got the Raspberry Pi.
You bid on a ton of stuff too. That's all you came out with?
Yeah, well, mostly I was trying to bid up the charity items. So
well, the charity.
Somebody has to drive the price up.
I love it. Now that Boatfest is winding down, everybody's, are you going to stick around for tomorrow? Are you going to be here tomorrow?
I'll still be here tomorrow.
Beautiful, for the arcade thing. You think you'd come back again if we did another one?
Yeah, I already told my wife. I was like, yeah, we're coming next year. Like, we'll stay a little longer.
You're going to bring her up?
Yeah. I'm telling you, you're underselling Hurricane. It's a nice area. Anybody listening to the podcast, they need to know it's you and Boat are underselling it.
It's not bad. Hey, listen, I'm so happy you came up. Thank you.
Yeah,
Thanks for bringing up the new one.
Yeah.
I mean, it's an ARG thing for me too, because after we talk about these things, it kills me. Sometimes I do dumb things, by the way, and buy stupid crap. Socrates, like I mentioned. The new one is so goofy and oddball and strange. And when we did it, I was like, man, I would just love to give this one shot, because we couldn't play anything.
Yeah.
So you've actually made me a happy man by bringing that up. I really appreciate you bringing that thing up.
I'm glad I could help.
We're so happy you came up, and we hope to see you somewhere down the line, my friend. Thank you again very much.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Say hi to everybody.
All right.
Hey, everybody. Bam. We're back. Look what we got here. Tell everybody your name, your online name, and where you came from to come to Boatfest, man.
I am Adam DeRoe. I am the orator of the Commodore Chronicles family of podcasts, and I come from right around Detroit, Michigan.
Detroit, Rock City, man. How long did it take you to get down here from Detroit?
About 7 hours.
That's not too bad.
No,
That's not too bad.
no.
Now, you were with us last year at Boatfest. I'm glad you came back, man. I've always loved seeing you. I'm a big fan of your shows, which you've expanded in the past couple months here. I like your format and stuff. When you are doing your reviews, I mean, because they're pretty detailed. When you're playing games, are you taking notes down, which I like? The mark of quality, my friend. And how'd you come up with your grading scale in there?
Random chance. It was a 0 out of 5, and then it went from 0 to 10, and then I broke it up into different aspects. Graphics, sound, music, gameplay, replayability.
Yeah.
That was just over time. It was kind of scattered at first.
Yeah.
So
I mean, it's funny because I've been listening to your show for a long time. Pretty much, I think I've heard them all.
Okay.
The Commodore Chronicles, but I mean, it's not like the other stuff was bad, but I think in the last year or so, you really stepped up your game. It's almost like after Boatfest last year, maybe an episode or two later, I like what you did. They seemed more structured. You added more content. It's been a real good thing. Did you decide to go in a different direction or something? Or was there a conscious decision to change the way things? I mean, not that the old stuff was bad, but it just seemed like there was a quantum shift, and you really tore in. I really enjoyed them.
Yeah, I think it came down to actually being embarrassed by some of the quality of some of the stuff I did earlier. I'd go back and listen to it, and I'd hear all of the ums and all of the stutters, and I couldn't take it. I can't go back and listen to my first bunch of podcast stuff. And then when I branched off into the Commodore Chronicle side from Retro Gaming Bygones, I took a concerted effort to not only to do an outline first, but I do an outline and then I do a full script. So so when I do an entire episode, it's more like me reading a term paper to you.
Yeah.
So usually it takes when I'm not incredibly busy, usually it takes about a good solid 40 to 45 hours to write a full episode. I try and play a game for at least a dozen hours before I give a review on it. So it doesn't always happen. So like sports titles, of course, those go pretty quick.
Yeah.
And if I've had a lot of experience with them, that's good too. But like recently, when I've dabbled into some games I've never played before, I make sure I get at least, like I said, at least a dozen hours of some type of play into it to understand the ins and outs of the game. I don't want to give crap information.
You can tell. You can tell. Of course, you expanded your show content. Tell the people give them your rainbow of shows that you're up to now.
So it started out with the Commodore Chronicles, and then it's jumped to Fine and Tandy. That's about the Tandy 1000 series of computers, MS-DOS compatibles. And then I jumped from there to 486 Deluxe, and that's all late DOS era games, early Windows 95 games. And then recently I've been working on the first episode of NES Advantage, about the titular NES. What's great about that is I grew up just loving it.
Yeah.
And everyone else had one and I didn't.
Yeah.
So I have a whole bunch a whole bunch of stories on the back end of all these episodes. At least the initial ones.
Yeah.
Where whether it was my buddy Derek, John, Mike, Crip, I had tons of friends that had it. I just have tons of memories about it, tons of fond memories of my friends. So it was just something that I thought was important. And what sparked it, though, was a buddy of mine I used to work with knew I was into retro, and he gave me basically a almost mint NES action set in a box, controllers, power supply, a couple games. He gave me a couple Game Boy things, just because he knew how much I love this stuff, and he had found it at his, I think it was his uncle's house, after his uncle passed away, and the first thing he thought of was like, Adam loves this stuff. So he brought it in, he just gave it to me. So
very good.
That really sparked, that'll be in the first episode too, how I kind of came into wanting to do an NES type podcast.
Do you have an idea, an ETA on that one?
I hope within the next 2 weeks.
Very good. Yeah. I'm looking forward to it. Your second time here, what did you think of Boatfest? Did you have a good time?
I had a great time. I had a great time last year. This year, getting to meet people like Pajako and Mitsuyama and people from different countries. Graham, yep. And then, of course, the mainstays, the Kola, the Chris Petzel, Sam and his brother. I think you'd mentioned about a year ago that you noticed this event kind of gave me the purpose behind, trying to do a better job. So, and I love the fact that you've always been a big supporter, and you've always propped me up on the streams, and I appreciate that.
Well, listen, I like what I like, and you're talking my language too, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
did you see any computers out here that you hadn't seen before or enjoyed? Anything grab your fancy?
I have never played a ZX Spectrum, and I got to play a ZX Spectrum and a ZX Spectrum next.
Yeah. Oh, so good. Eh?
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah. Did you get to see Josh off the BBC Master, the Nabu?
Yep. I didn't get to play a whole bunch of the Nabu, but I dabbled on the BBC Master.
Yeah. It's a sweet machine. Eh? Did you see the new one over there?
I didn't get. I saw you dabbling with it. I saw someone else dabbling with it.
All
for a minute.
you do is dabble. Let's put it that way.
Yep.
You know. And we had a lot of fun with the tournaments over there. We played a little NBA Jam over there. So
we got rocked this time.
Well, I would watch. Hey, listen, you were towing dead weight, my friend.
We won last year.
Yeah, but you were towing dead weight that year too. You know, that's for sure. So. In the future, you've got your podcast coming out. Is there a place where people can find your stuff they want to look on the web?
There's twitter.com/C64 Chronicles, Facebook.com/C64 Chronicles. I've got a Commodore Chronicles Discord server.
How's the Discord going? I've not got in there yet.
There's probably 24 people in there.
Oh, great. That's a good start.
Yeah, and I've actually made some new friends. That's kind of what all of my podcasting about. Just finding people, especially in my area. I can't believe how little retro gaming community there is in my area in Michigan. So if you don't mind if I plug,
go.
I've been working on doing a Southeast Michigan Vintage Computer Club.
This for a good solid year.
Yeah, and it keeps getting pushed back because of other things coming up. But now I have to bite into it even more because the wife has got a baby.
Oh yeah,
got a baby coming. So
congratulations, that's dandy.
And I hope to have some more information on that by the end of July to have a venue and a date. I'm hoping for sometime in September.
So this would be like a Central Michigan. Is that what you're shooting for?
It's called the Southeast Michigan Vintage Computer Club.
And where would you say, from where to where would you be pulling from in this area?
I would say anywhere from the Detroit, as far as north as Flint, as far as west as Lansing. But I've had people talking about coming from out of state. Petzel and his wife have talked about coming in from out of state. But really, it's to get a quarterly thing going where there could be a community of people who love retro computers, retro video games, hi-fi, anything that's old. And we don't have a whole lot of that going on in Southeast Michigan.
Beautiful. You got to hold the banner up then, my friend.
Yeah, that's what I'm hoping
for. If you're in that area of Michigan, get with the man. He told you his socials, hook up. And I think once you get those off the ground, they're always a lot of fun, too, you know?
Yep.
Listen, I appreciate you coming back down. It's always a pleasure to talk to you, my friend. Good luck. I hope everything works out for you. Give it up for Computer Chronicles. Give it to it. All right, take it easy, everybody. Look who's here, everybody. He drove a long way. It's our good buddy Chad. What's a good word, man? Wait, I screwed up my own thing. Tell them your full name, your board name if you have one, and where you're from.
Yeah, so my name's Chad Halstead. The Discord name is Bluetrane, and I live exactly right here. Well, not in this building, but you know,
downstairs.
I'm from Hurricane. Same with Aaron, you know, John, Brent, all those.
And we've all been good buddies for a long time. You were a childhood chum with Boat.
Yeah,
back in the day. How long have you known the Boat?
Since middle school, like 7th grade.
Yeah. So way back. And
I spent a whole lot, basically, from every day at John's house from 7th grade until we graduated.
So you were a witness to the birth of his madness over the years.
Absolutely.
Now,
so what would happen is quite honestly, when really bad stuff would happen, like I would get the call and I would have to like bring him down off the ledge from doing like some really horrible stuff, like terrible bad ideas.
Clearly you missed a few calls along the way.
Probably so.
Boat's well known for doing the nuttiest stuff, and then instantly being regretful or getting out of it, whatever it was.
That's true. That's true.
It makes him very colorful.
Yes, absolutely.
Now, you've been around for a while, and when he first started talking about holding a convention here in Hurricane, I know you knew about it.
Yeah, yeah.
What did you think about that idea?
Well, I mean, I hope people would come.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, like, you know, the issue with it is that this kind of empire, if you will, I guess, that he created.
Oh,
well,
man.
no, I mean, it's
a relative empire.
Yeah, correct. You know, it has some pretty far-reaching people.
Yeah.
And that, you know, travel isn't cheap, and
No.
so you know, it's a huge commitment to get people here.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, okay, well, we're gonna get people from the U.S., but you know, I mean, it'd be cool if someone from really far away, and we got people far away right on the get-go.
Pretty much as far as you could get.
Yeah, yeah. and of course this time I mean, we really did it. So yeah.
That's mine. That's yours. Yeah. Okay. Just set it anywhere. Sorry, someone was.
Oh,
thank you, man.
They were trying to give it away.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. As far away as you could go this year.
Yeah.
It's actually quite amazing, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know, how would you classify yourself in the fandom of the gaming that we're going here?
Yeah, I mean, I would say I'm pretty casual as far as things, because I don't own any classic hardware or anything like that.
You sort of do now.
Well, yeah. But before today, I didn't really. So, you know, like my gaming time, when I was a kid, we didn't have a computer at home. So the first time I was on a computer was probably '88. We got Apple IIs in at our school.
Yeah.
In Kanawha County.
Yeah.
So I was on those, and then around the same time, I got NES, and then someone not too long before maybe like 87, someone had given me Atari 2600. But then when I got the NES, actually the real issue was when I got cable, I couldn't play the 2600 anymore because I didn't have a way for the RF.
You didn't have an antenna port.
Yeah,
on
correct.
It,
So I was mostly console, and yeah.
Yeah. Now, of course, you've known us for a long time, both River. Have you ever felt the urge to get some crazy old computer or like an Amiga or an ZX
No, and I'll tell you why.
Yeah.
So
there's a million reasons.
Well, yeah, but okay. So the thing is if like I was watching the show as a listener, okay, and I saw you guys doing this stuff, and I live 400 miles away, 1,000 miles away, I may not have access to it. If I really need that, like, you live in the neighborhood behind me, I just come over and play it.
That's not a bad answer.
So why would I want to buy it?
Yeah,
I mean, like,
you're right. I mean,
I don't have FOMO, so you know, I mean, I'm not gonna, you know.
I was like that with pets for the longest time.
Yeah,
It's like,
yeah.
well, why do I need to get a pet? I could go to like Fred's house. He's got
Sure,
a cat,
right,
you know.
right. Yeah, so I mean that's honestly really the reason why. And I mean I have a Raspberry Pi and I can play all the old arcade stuff on it. And
it is funny. We're collecting classic computers. Reminds me of when you started collecting jukeboxes. You can get a jukebox. It's cool looking, but you've got to come to the realization that you've got a 500-pound temperamental device that sucks out electricity like it's going out of style.
Yeah.
And you can replicate that with one small iPod with a speaker attached to it.
Sure. Well,
you know?
yeah. I mean,
it's a certain madness that goes through.
Well, sure. I mean, I'm not like foreign to like vintage electronics because I mean I was doing the whole vinyl scene, so vintage receivers, vintage turntables.
Of course, you're getting something for your money when you do that, though. I mean, it's really.
But it's still fickle equipment that's like 40, 50 years old.
That's something else Boat was into as well, right?
Yeah. So you know, I just have tried to get out of a lot of that
You made
stuff.
a good point. I never thought of it that way, but yeah, you're right. There you can absolutely draw a line there.
Yeah.
So of course, you were at Boatfest last year. Here you are back in. What'd you think of the event? I mean, we're rolling it down here. What'd you think of the event this year?
Oh, it was really nice.
Did you enjoy it?
Yeah, I don't know that I I mean, I just kind of hung out most of the time last time, but I actually did play some games this time.
Yeah, I saw you playing the last time.
I played a CD32 pinball game.
Oh yeah. Pinball Dreams.
No, something to do with like monsters or aliens.
Yeah, it's a different package. It's like 4 tables.
Okay, yeah.
That's probably what it was.
Yeah, it was on the machine that was right over here.
Yeah, the CD32.
Yeah.
Pretty good, eh?
Yeah, actually, I think I did good on it too because I'm not like very good at pinball games.
Do you like video pinball?
That one was fun. I wasn't sure if I'd like it because the screen splits, so it goes up and down. But yeah, it was fun.
Very good, very good.
Yeah, absolutely.
After we wrap up with Chad, we're going to take a group shot.
Okay. Am I going to have time to talk with Pack Billy before we shut down?
Yeah. We're going to do that and then come back.
Yeah, sure. Okay, thanks, Boat. We're heading up for a group shot.
Yeah.
You're always a good help at these things. I always appreciate when because you're a lot like me in some ways. You're kind of a strong-backed gunter that can. How much stuff have we moved just together? A lot of heavy crap.
Absolutely.
And tell everybody what you picked up at this thing, because you got an auction piece, the last auction of the night.
Oh yeah. So, funny enough, like we didn't think it was going to maybe happen, like because it got missed.
Yeah.
So it was a one-up arcade machine, but it's like a modded one.
Yeah, it's excellent. It's quite good.
I guess it's been modded to play basically all vertical-oriented games. Yeah.
Bo did that. He did a good job.
He did. And he did some other conversion stuff, like as far as the power goes and things.
And he put credit buttons in.
Yeah.
I think you're really going to enjoy that. It's a solid piece.
Yeah.
And it's a great way to do it, too.
Yeah, absolutely.
I was happy to see you walk out here with that. Well, we're going to take pictures, I guess, and we'll take it to the house. Chad, always a pleasure, man.
All right, right on.
Say goodbye to everybody. We're going to move over and take a picture, everybody, so just keep on the stream. Hey, everybody, we're back. Now, we've got a new friend that we've just met the last couple of days. I've been doing this for everybody, so tell everybody your name and whatever online handle you use and where you're from.
Hi, I'm Daniel. Online, I go by a couple of different things. The usual that I use is 12-gauge Mage.
Oh, that's good. Are you a D&D guy or something?
I played a little bit of it, but it's not for me right now. I'll probably get back into it later on.
Yeah. And where are you out of?
Out of Marshall County.
Marshall County. Is there a city out near you or just out the stick somewhere?
Well, I used to live in Moundsville. Now I live in Glendale.
I like Moundsville. Of course, I'm just a tourist up there. But I like the mound, obviously. I'm always into that stuff. We did a ghost tour of the prison. I love the Palace of Gold that's up there. So, listen, I know I've gotten some flack, but I think it's great up there. I mean, and it's nice and peaceful. They've got a great garden back there, You've been up there?
I can't say I have.
It's
I
so nice.
I went to.
Yeah, it's real good. So, you've never been on our Discord. We never chatted or anything. It's the first time we met you. Tell everybody how you even heard about this thing.
It's difficult to remember. Like, basically, I just came across an advertisement for Boatfest.
Yeah.
And I saw that there was going to be Retro Rewind here.
Yeah.
Doing repairs. And I was like, I've got this 1200, and I would really like to use it, so that's why I came down here.
Now, and you brought it down. Did they have a look at it today?
They looked at it yesterday.
Oh, they looked at it yesterday?
Seemingly they just needed to look at it.
Does it work now?
Oh, yeah.
Frank knows all the tricks. Now, I'm going to talk about your auction action because you actually picked up a couple real great auction items. What did you end up picking up?
I got a Amiga 2000 with the keyboard. Got a Macintosh Performa.
Yes.
And a custom arcade fight stick.
You got the fight stick too.
Yeah.
That's a heck of a stick too. That's a heck of a haul right there. Now me and you talked off camera, but for the interest of people watching, because you're a young guy, how did you get into the retro game, as it were? Like what draws you to this sort of thing?
really hard to say. I guess I really like a lot of the music from retro games, consoles, and computers.
Yes.
I have something of an interest in learning how to program for some of them.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, it's not a big project. It's kind of like a learning how to. I have this idea for a Commodore 64 game. For the moment, I'm calling it Fog of War, where you basically play as a warship captain trying to captain your ship back to port, but you have no sensors, no map. Gameplay-wise, I'm still working it out. I want to try and have enemies appear randomly, completely randomly. I don't know how I'm going to have the player get back to port. I don't know if I want to have it as a map-based thing, or if I want to make that, or if I want to go completely ridiculous with it and make it you just come across it randomly.
So you've got an idea for a game. You feel like it's fairly well fleshed out, and you're sort of going to get the programming chops to make it yourself. That's the plan.
I'm prototyping it right now in BASIC.
Really? That's outstanding. And have you done a lot of programming in BASIC before this?
Just playing around with the classic 10 print thing.
Right, sure. You know, the good thing is where you're starting from, there's a lot of easy steps upwards, including your visual basics, your AMOS for Amiga is a real powerful system. There are a couple other new gaming engines that have came out that are real nice free ones you can use. So it's a great step, and the concept sounds real. Listen, I'm an old Star Trek guy, for example.
Yeah.
So, you know, I love that sort of stuff, you know, and I like the idea of, you know, finding your way back. It's a good concept. But you don't have an ETA, and it's just going to take your time and do it and get it done when it's done.
Yeah, I don't have an itch.io or anything. I don't know how far I want to go with it.
Yeah.
But I think it would be pretty cool to like have it finished and like give it like have it on for free up there. Sure.
Yeah, I like that idea. Now, of course, this is your first time you've been out to Boatfest. I don't know if you've been to Hurricane. Have you been to Hurricane before?
I might have passed through, coming from Davis, West Virginia, out to Huntington, and then back up.
Yeah. So you never really stopped, hung around or anything. And of course, you're from here, so this shouldn't be that big a deal for you. You've seen every little town there is, probably between here and there. And it's great to have somebody, a local. I mean, West Virginia local, an hour or two away. I figure, you know. What did you think of Boatfest coming up? Because it's got to be kind of intimidating to come up. You don't know anybody. You don't know what the heck you're walking into, and you roll in. I mean, did you have a good time here?
So as someone who is socially awkward and has a very difficult time meeting people, I found it very easy to like come up and talk to people here. Like everyone is so friendly and helpful. I honestly wish all, I guess, conventions and gatherings were like this.
Well, hey, you know, I will say this. I'm so happy that you enjoyed it, because you never know. And I've been there's nothing worse than going to something like this and you just kind of stand around for 20 minutes and you leave because it's no good. I told Boat when we did this, I want to make sure everybody feels like that they're are welcome and stuff. And the thing is, like, we don't got to do nothing. Everyone that comes down here we're just lucky. We've got a bunch of nice people. I mean, if you're getting people to come from overseas and stuff, you know you've got a pretty good crowd.
Yes.
You know, I mean, they're not just, guys don't just fly in from England or Australia just because they're bored. I mean, that's a big commitment, money and time.
Yeah.
You know, so I'd like to think, you know, but it's nice to hear. I'm glad you had a good time. Did you see any systems or computers or consoles that struck your fancy? Anything you enjoyed or you hadn't seen before?
Well, there was a gentleman over there with an Atari Jaguar. That's one of those is on my list.
Yes. We played 4-player NBA Jam. I don't know if you were in here for that.
I missed out on that.
In fact, right here are my Jag controllers. I brought 2 of them. The Jag is a sort of much maligned system. I think it's another one that's primed to have some homebrew done on it because it's got a powerful process that no one used, you know. So, yeah, did you get a chance to play with the Nabu or the PC Master over there.
The Nabu, I tried out.
Had you heard of that before this?
I saw a video about it by, have you heard of 8-Bit Show and Tell?
Absolutely, great show. Yeah.
I saw his video about it. I think that's about all.
Yeah. It's not. I mean, it's sort of blown up in the last year or two, but I never heard of it either. You know. Did you play any games you thought were interesting?
I don't think I played a whole bunch.
Some of this you played, looked at so much, it sort of blurs together. I mean, that's the way I feel most of the time.
Curtis over there showed me a 3D game on his CoCo 3.
Is that the one with the 3D glasses?
Yes.
Oh, that's it's a weird effect. They do a good job, doesn't it? You know, I don't know how much you know about the TSI color computer, which is what that was on. Curtis is like literally the tippy top of the food chain when it comes to the color computer. I mean, he's the guy that everyone goes to. So I mean, you're sitting down with the man right there.
Yeah.
I saw you guys over there, and I thought to myself, I know Curtis is giving the full shtick because he helped co-design an opera. Did he show you Nitrous 9?
Yeah.
That's his baby, you know. Him and Ken, the guy in the Hawaiian shirt with the blonde hair, they're part of a show called the CoCo Nation. It's on every Saturday. It's a streaming show. It goes for like 5 or 6 hours. The CoCo community, of which I count myself a member of, great community. It's a fun computer from the 80s. I grew up with one. You know, I'm into it. And so, but I'm guessing you probably never fooled with one before today.
Actually, at home I have a CoCo 1.
Oh, that's right. You mentioned that to me. The silver one, right?
Yeah, it's a little out of commission right now. I gotta ask around about replacement capacitor.
You should talk to him.
Yeah, we were talking yesterday at dinner.
Oh yes, good. Hey, I should add, you went to. I know you were at Thai tonight. Did you go to all the dinners or just 2 of the dinners? I can't remember if you're at the first one or not. You went to Thai. You went to Mexican last night, right? Well, how would you think of the meal? It's pretty good.
Yeah.
Did you enjoy them?
Yeah, the Thai was great.
Yeah.
I mean, that was the first time I've ever had Thai.
Oh, really? Were you a little worried when you went in there? Because I was like that when I went in. I was like, man, what am I going to be eating in here?
I guess a little bit.
Yeah.
But see, I'm something of a picky eater, so when I go out to somewhere new, I'm like, you know. But that was like the best thing I've had.
Yeah.
Like in like the past week.
You know, Boat's wife works there, and so I go there myself when I can, and it's always they're outstanding cooks over there. We've ate pretty good this weekend, I have to say. So we're gonna see you back up here next year. You're gonna come back around for if we do another one.
It would take quite a lot to stop me from coming out next time.
I'm happy to hear that, man. Listen, I mean, when I saw you roll in, and I see so many people coming and going and stuff. I'm so busy. And I was like, I don't know that guy. And I'm so happy you came down and I got to meet you. It's always great to see someone that's in West Virginia. Listen, it's tough around here, for this sort of thing. I'm so happy you came down and had a good time, and hopefully we'll see you around again, and you'll have a good time. But hopefully we'll see you more. I'd like to see you in chats and Twitch and stuff. I'd love to see that stuff, man. If you're so inclined. You seem like a good guy, and I like seeing someone your age getting into it, man. So it's been a pleasure to meet you.
You too.
Say hi to everybody out there.
Hello.
There you go. Thanks for talking with me, man. I appreciate it. We're going to shift over, everybody. Have a good evening. Look who's here, everybody.
Look who's here.
I've been doing this thing, so tell everybody your name, and then tell them your Discord name and where you're from.
My real name doesn't need to be shown.
We've already seen it.
It's just Pack Billy. That's all that anybody needs to know.
Someone called you by your real name, and I was baffled.
I know.
Who that was.
Why do we need that? We don't need real names.
I can't remember
We
anyway.
don't need real names in this world of podcasting and frivolity.
Now, Pac, where did you travel in from? You and your brother are here. Give your brother a shout out, by the way, since he's
My
not
brother is doing the working man's job of breaking down. He's doing a tremendous job.
Yes, sir.
And he's leaving me, an old cripple, here to talk to you
The other
while
cripple.
he does all the important work.
That's a good shout out right there. I like that, man. Now, where are you from again? You never told us.
We're from you know what, Aaron? Doesn't matter where we're from the deepest part of the deep south.
The deepest part.
Yes,
So that's deep.
yes.
That's
but
way down
I
there.
was recently in Alaska though. I mean,
Really?
that's
That's the northernest part of the big
a little
north.
bit, yeah. I
Yeah.
went from I wanted to compare and contrast.
Sure.
You know what I mean? So
how'd that work out for you?
I had to come back, but I didn't come back because of that I preferred the heat and the humidity of the South. I came back because I just ran out of fun stuff to do up there.
Yeah, you can only do so much in the snow. It's
Yeah,
time to come
yeah.
home. Now listen, this is the second time we've had you up in Hurricane before. You were up in Taste Valley.
Yep,
Second
yep.
Boatfest. So how do you think how did you size this one up so far?
I put it way up there.
Way up there?
But we were missing the Beat the Brent challenge.
Right, and we were both anxious to beat the Brent.
I know. I'm always
and by the way,
anxious
just
to beat
FYI, I'm going to bury the Brent because I spent so many hours getting his stupid thing set up, and then there's no Beat the Brent challenge because what beat Brent was a Thai dinner. He went home and I guess went to bed. That's the last I saw of him.
Oh, the Brent.
So we'll get him
Bed
later.
the Brent.
We'll take care of him.
So, and the other thing is, no karaoke this year.
No, yeah, we didn't have it. We didn't have it last year. And the thing is, I figured out how to do it now. So it's coming back for the next one because I've got a cunning plan.
We need more in the monitor. That's all I'm saying. Next year, if it comes back, I couldn't hear the track, so I didn't know where we were in the song last year.
Yeah, it was a disaster. And the thing is, really, there were only two people that could sing it up, and that was me and you. Everyone else kind of hammered it. Adam got in there a little bit. But
Adam did a great job.
He did jump in.
Boat did a duet.
Well,
didn't
yes, Boat. He did with his wife.
Islands
right?
in the Stream.
Yeah.
No, it wasn't Islands in the Stream. It was West Virginia. It was the West Virginia song.
Oh yeah, the song. Yeah. So that's something I'm gonna put back on the docket next year. You know, what happened this year was that the Dadgum auction was long but fruitful. You know,
it was very fruitful.
Now, you've been to a myriad of shows. I know you go to a lot of these things.
I've been to this and last year.
But you've been to other shows. Right?
I haven't. Not.
You haven't been to other shows?
No.
I can't believe
I've been
that.
to this.
You live in the deep south. They got shows everywhere down there.
No, not where we are. Not like
like
this.
in swamps or something?
We just have to go out in the woods and hope for the best.
That's not much of a show. Okay, well that's fine. What did you think of the auction? That was because I know you were kind of looking forward to that all weekend. Did it go up like you thought?
Yeah, I really did. I wanted to bid on that that arcade cabinet, but it quickly got beyond what I thought would be prudent to purchase it at.
FYI, I loaded that into the man's truck. I took it down there on the dolly. So I did yeoman's work, you know. Now you maybe you missed out on buying that, but you're a big seller. You sold some stuff.
I did. I was paid to have more room in my storage unit.
Yes.
Room which I'm going to fill with styrofoam peanut. I don't know.
Yeah, I understand. Listen, you know, hey, come over here. Come over a second.
Hey.
Listen, come over here. My man.
Get in on this.
Best buddies in the
Now
whole
listen,
world.
I love this man right here. I'll tell you, for a multitude of reasons. Just two of my favorite boys right here. You've worked tirelessly this weekend, and you both of you actually brought some grade A stuff. I asked everyone in here their favorite stuff, and the two things, I swear to you, you're not going to believe this. One of them was the Jaguar. I couldn't believe that got over. But the BBC Master and the Nabu, now no one said top banana on the ST. So that didn't get over.
No,
but everything
no
else
top banana.
But listen, you were working the auction, you were working the game show, you were finding cables, you were providing tape, you're doing all this crazy stuff, and we appreciate it, my friend.
Thanks.
I'm
It's
so
my
glad
pleasure,
you
man.
came out. It's always a pleasure to see you. You don't live that far away, right? I mean,
It's like 4.5 hours.
You should just come by every couple weeks, and it would work out good. We can hang
yeah,
out.
sure, no problem.
We'll get a cold one, you know.
Doing anything this weekend?
No, you know, I'm sleeping a little bit tomorrow, maybe. But are you going to be here tomorrow, or are you heading out tonight?
I'm headed out early in the morning.
Okay, man. I kind of thought that. Well, listen. I do. At the bottom of my heart, I appreciate you. I love your streams. Plug yourself real quick. Your streams. Give me your Twitch.
It's twitch.tv/48KRAM, all one word. That's my handle. 48K
That's right. And if you miss it, I try to repeat them on YouTube on our Amiga Stream Team channel.
And thanks for doing that, by the way. That's awesome.
Well, listen, I hated to see that good stuff go to waste, and some of that stuff I go back and reference. So
yeah,
so there you go. And I'm not the only one. So again, thank you. Be careful on your way home.
I absolutely will.
I appreciate you. Grab the mic from this man.
Good to see you, man. Yeah. That was we had a great game of Ball Blazer earlier.
Oh,
yeah,
really?
We did. Very great game of Ball
Absolutely
Blazer.
skunked me.
Yeah.
Absolutely skunked me.
I never liked that game. I always
see
sucked
y'all.
at it. Hey, thanks again, man. That was an interview bomb from the big man there. He's a good guy. He's a good guy. Now, I want to get back to this auction for a minute because
Sure.
there was one awesome thing that happened, is which we made a deal. We didn't spin the wheel, but we made
a deal. Yes.
And it was probably a dumb thing for me to do because I don't need to have these 2 large boxes. I was telling the guy,
really, 2
not
and a
only
half.
did I buy these things, they're boxed. Now, most people love that, but now I've got to store the boxes somewhere too.
You don't want to get rid of the boxes.
I know.
When are you going to find an Atari ST box?
Yeah, well, here's the thing. I thought, hey, I don't have an ST. I'll have one and one. And so, Oh, okay. All right, bud. Well, listen. We're going to take you to the house.
Okay.
Now,
let's do a duet right now. Let's do Islands in the Stream right now. We can go out on Islands in the Stream.
Islands in the stream, that is what we are. With each other.
Someone, okay, there we go.
Hey, thank you, my friend. Thanks for coming out.
Sure.
Pack Billy, everyone. Give it up for him.